Hey, we're live.
We live?
We're live. Check. Hello. Yes, we're live. This doesn't do anything. I don't know why I do that. Hey, we are live. What's up, everyone? How's it going? What's up, Aaron? How's it going?
What up, Spence?
What up?
Welcome back to Benzinga Live. First things first, shout out Robert Gomez.
New member.
New YouTube member in the chat. If you want to be cool like Robert is, if you want to be as cool as Robert is, go join our YouTube membership. You get cool special emojis. You get some.
Where's our air horn? Is the air horn not here?
I thought you just used it.
No.
I used it. Congratulations.
All right. I don't know where the air horn sound effect is.
There
we go.
But yeah, Spence, we got a lot to talk about. Benzinga
Yeah.
Live, packed show.
Packed show.
Like usual, we'll go through that. But first things first.
Do we finally have a second Mac charger up here? Is that what this is? No?
It's Ethernet line.
It's not for me?
So if you want to be on the Ethernet, then you can plug in.
Oh, I gotta talk to Aaron Thomas. I gotta
right.
get an Ethernet cable to take home. He's shaking his head. I need it for work.
We can't give away more stuff, man.
It's an Ethernet cable. It's like $3.
They're like a dime an inch.
I'm just gonna find one.
I have one at home. It took a mile long. I'll give it to you. Just take some space.
I don't need that long.
All right, that's all I got.
I was gonna say first things first. I mean, we're back in. Yesterday we had another classic GameStop AMC day. Today,
did you see what happened off the open?
I saw what happened. So we had
Let's go to 1 minute.
GameStop
one
and
minute
AMC
chart.
spike off the open, and then I don't know what we want to call that after the spike up. Was it just profit taking? People saying, "Hey, look, I'm up 25% in a day. Might as well take some profits here." Arca's talking about Kodak in the chat. We will be talking about Kodak later. We've got Ben.
Wait, Kodak Black?
No, not Kodak Black.
This Kodak?
Yes, that Kodak. Kodk. Yes.
This Kodak?
The everyone's favorite camera maker / vaccine play.
They're the only camera maker / vaccine play.
/ NFT play. So we'll talk about Eastman Kodak. We'll talk about that with Ben from Story Trading at about 12:30.
Nice. No David Green today, everyone. Can we say why he's not coming on?
Let's just say he's not feeling
under
well.
the weather.
Under the weather,
but he did say he hopes to be on potentially later on in the week, if not back at his usual slot.
Yeah, so everyone, I don't know. I don't know what we can do for DG to help him feel better.
Oh, he's not. Maybe, I would say tweet at him, but he's not even on Twitter.
Maybe we'll just say some wackadoodles today. We'll say some.
Yeah. What's the stock he always calls? He always says it weird.
He calls Lockheed Martin Limited.
Limited. That's the one.
He calls
Lockheed Martin.
Also, speaking of Limited.
What about it?
God damn, down $10 today.
We know why, right, guys? We know why Lockheed's down. I'm sorry. We know why Limited's down.
What, the ceasefire?
It's because there's peace in the Middle East and in Ukraine, or so.
I don't know if either of those things are true.
No, both of those things are not true. As a matter of fact.
Okay. But
that's the headline. It was so quiet this morning until about 7:45, and then headlines start flying over the wires left and right. Oh, there's peace talks. Yeah, pull up a spy.
Yeah, and Spence, we do. All right, so let's do a full rundown of the show today.
Yeah.
If you're new here, this has been Benzinga Live. This is our daily show we do from 11:30 to 2. A lot of our other shows are more focused on trading, focused on technicals. This is kind of our all-encompassing 2.5-hour midday news show. We'll talk about all the biggest headlines. We'll talk about trade ideas. We'll bring on interesting guests. Sometimes they are companies. Sometimes they are financial advisors.
Or analysts.
Like Tom, who joined us yesterday.
Or traders.
Or influencers. Shout out Kiki Kitty. Saying
what? That's not a real person.
He or she is new in the chat.
That's not a real person.
We love our new Zinger Nation members. But
they are a real person.
Let's go ahead and give our rundown for the show today. So yeah, typically on Tuesdays we will have David Green on, who is a just fantastic day trader. He's quick in and out of trades, but hopefully he'll be coming on later in the week. 30-year Wall Street veteran.
Oh yeah.
And then at 12 we will be talking to Sam Abuelsamid?
Wait, we just got.
Hold
on.
We just got the phonetic.
It's Abuelsamid.
Abuelsamid?
No, not Abuela. Abuela.
Abuela?
Yeah,
no, there's no A after the
I'm telling
L.
you, I'm reading off of the screen.
Abuelsamid.
Abuelsamid.
Okay. Sam
Man.
Abuelsamid, he is an expert in the auto industry. We'll talk about some EVs and everything else going on.
We have a lot to discuss on the EV front today. That's one thing we're going to talk about.
Oh, also, I meant to snap a picture of this yesterday. Yeah. I was driving home from work, and you know the big trucks that are transporting cars?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
What are those called?
It's a trailer, a trailer on the back of a truck that's carrying.
It's got
cars.
double decker.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Okay.
There were like 8 Teslas on one. So I don't know if they were like going to a Tesla plant or they were like broken Teslas.
Were they going back to the factory?
I don't know. One was really, really dirty, so it didn't look like it was like a new Tesla. Like it looked like it had been like driven on like a dirt road.
Back to Fremont, you think?
Car hauler. Thanks, chat. A car transporter, whatever you want to call it. Tomato.
A car carrier.
Saw one of those full of Teslas.
It's going back to the factory, right?
I wanted to pull the thing over and talk to the driver and say, hey, where are you taking these? Where are they coming from? The other thing too is it didn't look like that nice of a hauler. Like it looked like they were kind of skimping out on the transportation. Like they just took some guy on Craigslist who had like an old car hauler in his junkyard, and he was like, yeah, I can take those Teslas. Like it didn't look like a nice one.
Are there degrees of niceness on car carriers?
I think so. I think like you would see one that you would say, okay, that's a nice car hauler that looks safe. I know driving behind it that these cars aren't gonna fall off onto my car. I did not have that feeling driving behind this one.
All right.
But
there was just a major crypto hack.
Oh man.
Yeah. The Ronin network. Oh man.
So
there was just a security breach on the Ronin blockchain.
In all seriousness, you see, the Hex Pony Audi wraps all their cars. This was not like that. But like I said, I wanted to pull it over. I wanted to talk to the driver to see where he was taking them, but I wasn't. I didn't have the necessary tools to pull off a citizen's arrest, so I just let him be.
It's good on you.
Okay, so anyway.
All right,
I got on that tangent because we were talking about Sam, who's joining us at 12, and we talking about EVs with him. But then at 12:30, we'll have Ben Rubizadeh from Story Trading. We'll be talking about Kodak. We'll be talking about some other stocks that Ben's watching. Of course, Ben is the one that gave us AEHR, a tremendous stock pick. Then at 12:45, we'll have Robert Roy.
Does Robert Roy know who's coming on today?
I emailed him and Sean.
Cool. Okay, good. Just checking. At 1:30, we have a pair of guests joining us. Well, either one or both. I'm not sure who's coming on. Matt Davio and Robert Heffernan, who run Market Vitals. Both former floor guys at the CME. I think between them, they've got like 60-ish years of trading experience on Wall Street. So we're just going to hang out with them and shoot the shit about the markets for a few minutes. That'll be at 1:30. And all of that is leading into the show after this, which is the roadmap. They have their biggest guest ever today. The roadmap does. The show's been on for what? Show's been on since like late last summer. Today they have Cool Cats. Cool Cats on the roadmap today, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, and while they're at it, they're also giving away $1,000 worth of Ethereum.
Holy cow.
I know. How are they allowed to do that is my question.
Yeah, how do I get $1,000 worth of Ethereum?
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to drop the link right now, though. The link to the ETH giveaway. And if you want to enter, well, there it is. You're going to have to tune into the roadmap at 2 p.m.
Rob's confirmed.
Rob's confirmed. Yes. Okay. We just spent 10 minutes going through our damn agenda, but that's how this show goes sometimes. So do us all a solid, or do us both a solid. Hit the like button, and here we go.
This is Benzinga Live. Spencer Israel and producer AB.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Someone told me buy high, sell higher.
Let's get Matt Hammond on the show to talk some IPOs. Jake Wojacek from Trend Spider. We have a breaking news. All right. So what is going on with this hack? This just happened while we were talking.
All right, so obviously, Spencer, this hack just happened. So we're not going to know any details or anything yet, but we'll cover.
Okay, we have breaking news on the hack. There was a hack.
So Axie Infinity,
Uh-huh.
the Ronin network, RONIN, hacked for about 700 million US dollars.
That's not that much, is it?
I mean, we're not talking about crypto here. We're not talking about 700 million Bitcoin or 700 million ETH. We're talking about 700 US dollars.
Okay.
Here's the thing, Spencer. I don't know if you've seen this, but it seemed like there was a lot of animosity out there with this recent rise of NFTs. You know, we had the initial wave of NFTs probably a little more than a year ago, and then this recent wave of NFTs over the past maybe started about 3 or 4 months ago, but it's been going on. I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen this on Twitter. A lot of people essentially making fun of like whenever someone gets hacked or like their NFT.
Yeah.
Like there's a big Twitter account called like Crypto Bros Taking L's, and literally all this Twitter account does is they'll wait for someone like bitching about like, oh, I sent $10,000 to this wallet and now I can't find it.
Yeah.
And this account just like makes fun of those people, and it's like they're like, oh, like you guys are so stupid, like investing in this cryptocurrency and NFTs. Like, no wonder you lost your money, kind of making fun of it.
I think the term is Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude, right? When you take pleasure in someone else's pain.
Oh, okay.
Right? Although my aunt tried to tell me it's pronounced Schadenfreude, which I think makes...
Is she German?
No.
Okay. Then it doesn't matter.
So tell us how that word is pronounced. Anyway, continue.
I honestly, so I see both sides. I think the people that are taking pleasure in seeing the pain, some of them may just be angry that they didn't like get into crypto when they heard about it 5 years ago or whatever. But there is, I think, a legit side to that, and it's that people have been over the last like year and a half, like, oh, look at the Dogecoin millionaire, whatever. So some people I think are really frustrated that they're seeing, okay, you're getting, real people to invest their real hard-earned dollars in a lot of these projects, which end up being either fraudulent or just essentially, perpetrated by the people that make the project just to then rug pull the project, whatever it is. Anyone out there who has spent like real money on a crypto project, like you're a hardworking individual, you spend your money on there and you get screwed out of it, you don't deserve to be made fun of for that. That's bullshit, right?
Quit being an asshole.
Right.
But
if I'm invested in crypto right now, if I had $1,000 that Spencer gave me to invest in crypto, there are things I just don't know how comfortable I'd be investing in some of these projects. Even like Axie Infinity is like a big name, right? We saw, who was the other big hack? Was it Crypto.com got hacked a few?
No, it was wait.
Kraken. There was one big like somewhat big
recently
exchange. Yeah. I think it was Crypto.
Maybe it was.
.com got hacked.
Maybe it was.
Either way,
I like that comment. I think that's what you're getting at, right?
That's what I'm getting at, is understand the risks. Like outside of buying like Bitcoin or Ethereum on Coinbase, I don't think like I think there's risk in anywhere in the crypto space that you put up. Yesterday, Jason, we did an interview with Jeremy Allaire, who's the CEO of Circle, and Circle runs USDC. Just put in the chat, and even Jeremy Allaire was talking about the risks of stable coins. Yeah. That's the whole point of stable coins, is they're not supposed to be risky. They're supposed to be stable, but there are still risks if you invest in Voyager stablecoin and Voyager gets a big hack and they go out of business. Guess what?
Yep.
You're screwed out of luck. Yep. So even the quote unquote safe investments in crypto, the stable coins, there's risk involved. So outside of buying, people always not make fun of, but people always like talk shit about Robinhood because you don't technically own the crypto there. That's almost better. That's almost better for me. Yeah, you can't take my Ethereum because I don't own it.
You can't take what you don't own.
You can't take what you don't own. I own $1,000 of Ethereum on Robinhood. I'm not worried about getting hacked. Because Robinhood is pretty big, right?
I love it.
They're
caveat emptor. I love it. But Buyer beware.
Yeah. So, like I said, I try to see, I try to stay objective, see both sides of things. I don't agree with people making fun of people that have lost their hard-earned money. I also think, hey, if you're, especially not only if you're going to throw a lot of money into one of these projects, but then if you're going to go turn around and essentially like shill that project and try to get more people to buy in, then maybe if some of those projects blow up, you do deserve a little bit of ridicule again.
Yeah.
So I it's a very sensitive issue because there are people who have 100% had their financial safety, their lives ruined by some of these crypto projects. If someone got bought into whether it's a coin or an NFT project and they put thousands of dollars into their savings and it blows up, I think we'll see over the next year, 2 years, more and more regulation to protect those people.
Yeah. The only people that I'm reserving my scorn for are the pumpers, the people that are going out of their way to attract more suckers into things, and then when those things get rug pulled. By the way, it's not just crypto; it's stocks too.
Oh, 100%.
I don't feel any joy whatsoever when someone buys AMC up at 90, how high did it get? What was the high there? 60? 70. When AMC got to 72, somebody bought it there. It doesn't make me happy that person has lost money.
Well, I'll say, but
unless the caveat is that person was like,
everyone go buy this.
Everyone go buy this right now. You'll get rich.
AMC's at $72. It's going to go to $300.
Yeah.
Everyone go buy this. And especially if you're someone that has an audience or you're like an influencer. And I think there are a lot of really famous celebrities out there that right now, while there is and I gotta do more research on this, but there are like ongoing lawsuits right now with some NFT projects, crypto projects, whatever. I don't know. I mean, like some of these, whether it's like one of the D'Amelios from TikTok who like goes endorses like a crypto project and it falls through, like they should have some sort of repercussion to that. I'm not saying they should like go to jail, but like should should there be like some sort of class act? Should they have to pay out if you're gonna take $10 million to shill a project to your audience and some of your audience members goes and spends their real money on this project? How is the person who took that money to show that project not going to be, have some sort of culpability there?
Yes. I think the biggest takeaway is if you are the person that is online and you are deriving joy out of other people losing their money, even if you don't believe in the thing in the first place, maybe just get off the internet for a little while, right? I think that's like, it's never people... See, like when hacks come about, whenever there's a hack, they use it as a justification for why the whole thing is a scam. Well, you could do that for anything. You can do that for anything under the sun, right? There's always going to be bad news, and it sucks that this happens. Nothing is safe, right? You should know that going in. Nothing is foolproof. Know the risks, right? Caveat emptor, buyer beware. And then also don't invest what you can't afford to lose. And that goes for crypto, that goes for stocks, that goes for most asset classes, frankly. Everything except for bonds and other cash equivalents, right? So Christian's talking about Ja Rule. I don't know what Ja Rule has and has not and had to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Ja rules of the crypto space should face repercussions. It shouldn't just be
that was funny.
It shouldn't just be the people that are like running the projects. It should be everyone involved. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think we'll see more and more different regulations like throughout the next year, 2 years that try to protect some of these people. I mean, shit, even freaking Mark Cuban got rug pulled in an investment.
And you know what? He invested money that he could afford to lose.
Right.
He's not crying, I don't think, about the rug pull. I think he's okay. I think he'll survive.
Yeah.
Right.
And Mark Cuban was one of the proponents that came out and said, hey, look, I know the majority of people in this crypto space are against any form of regulation or the government being involved at all. But he's like,
how it works.
He's like, some of these people, and again, this is after Mark Cuban himself got some of his money, in a rug pull. I forget the exact crypto project.
I don't know.
It's Titan or something. But he, then he was like, we do need some sort of regulation here to protect us from this shit happening.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, like I said, like outside of buying Ethereum or Bitcoin on Coinbase, or on Robinhood, I don't know like where I would go to where I would feel really safe about my crypto being like
cold storage is the only answer to that, right?
Right. So you buy it. So you buy it on one of those exchanges.
Yeah,
you buy
it's
it on Coin. What was it called? Coinbase or Crypto.com or Kraken.
And then you take
move
it offline
to a wallet. So you really, but it's a physical wallet. It's like a hard drive.
Yeah. It's a hard drive. Yes. But it's the equivalent of like an air gapped computer, right? It's like a computer that's not been connected to the internet. That's how I think of it.
Okay.
I think of cold storage as like an air gap computer. It's a computer, but it's never been hooked up online. And you're basically taking that's what helps me understand it in my head. Whoa, wait a minute. Hex Pony. This isn't I didn't see this. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did.
Is that today?
So I don't know. I got to do more digging into the stories. I saw that. I thought Robinhood already had extended trading. I think they might have extended the extended trading they already have.
No, yeah, they already had. You could buy at 9 a.m. I thought you could buy it pre-market beginning at 9 a.m.
So yeah, I think maybe in the afternoon hours they added. I don't know. I don't typically do like any extended hours trading. I think because the options market closes and like
it's very difficult. That's the one thing I've learned from listening to Joel and Dennis over the years. It is extremely difficult. There's also no market, right? So no market orders, only limit orders. And
so yeah, okay, Darren. Okay, yeah. So
7 a.m.
because I've been seeing this on Twitter and stuff like Robinhood initiates extended hour trading. No, that's not true. There was already extended hour trading.
It's just more.
Darren's saying from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now it's from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., which I believe is the same that like Webull and some other exchanges have.
There are a couple of brokers, and you're going to have to not call them, but you're going to have to like hit them up. Like IB, Interactive Brokers, will let you go at 4 a.m. E-Trade will let you go at 4 a.m. You have to ask. TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim will let you go 24 hours a day if you want to. They're the only brokerage that does 24-hour trading. The caveat is when you're trading from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., there is no market, so you're basically just trading against Citadel and Virtue. So know that going in, that's who's taking the other side of your trades. But you can do it if you want to on Thinkorswim. That's the whole point. I think we're probably going to a 24-hour market at some point anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so there are my thoughts on.
Yeah, and thank you, Nick. Yes, it's certain. It's not every stock. It's SPY, it's Qs, and there's it's a very small list. There's like a half dozen or a dozen things you can trade. Thank you for that.
I think it's good that Robinhood is extending the extended hours trading because it gets us closer to retail investors having kind of the full access of different tools and things that you're able to do in the market. It gets us closer to retail trading having the same access to like institutional investors. Doesn't really affect me personally because I personally don't trade in those hours, but think it's a good thing overall. Also, the last thing I was gonna say on the crypto front was just some of those like even like I said, like Axie Infinity is a big name, Ronin's a big name. Like these there are like thousands and thousands of hackers out there that are like constantly targeting these exchanges, websites, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna get better and better. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if you told me that Coinbase got hacked tomorrow. Like it'd be a huge deal, but like I wouldn't be shocked. I guess I'd be surprised, not shocked.
This is why I bought my cybersecurity ETF. It was one of the first things that I bought when I deployed all my capital in 2020. Because this is going to continue to be an issue. Cybersecurity is the most important thing, one of the most important things. So
100% from
a business standpoint, everything. So it's why
I have a new personal Firefest, Spencer.
What? You have what does that mean? You have a personal Firefest?
I'm stealing it from Pardon My Take
podcast
I listen to. They do a segment where they go around and they all say they're Firefest of the,
Oh,
of the
like
day of
like
the
when
week.
they got conned.
Not
is
when
that-
they got conned. It's more just like something like bad. Like say your tire blows on the highway on the way to work, and then you like pull over and you call your AAA guy, and then when the AAA guy comes, he accidentally like rear ends you with his truck. That'd be your like Firefest.
So
Just like that
it just
happened
gets
to you.
worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I own the CIBR. That's what I've got. It's the NASDAQ First Trust Cybersecurity. There are several. We can do a side-by-side if you want, maybe today. But I own the CIBR. What was your personal Firefest where it just gets worse and then worse and then worse?
Well, so my personal Firefest is I don't know if you guys saw, but on Sunday night at the Academy Awards, famous actor / comedian Will Smith.
I think we saw it.
We saw okay.
I think we saw it.
Hit other famous actor / comedian Chris Rock.
Yep.
I've been steadfast since this happened, since the very first time I saw the video,
It was fake.
that it was fake. I have been met with strong resistance, whether it's from Spencer, whether it's from friends, whether it's from family. Everyone's like, "No, Aaron, you're wrong. This is real." I don't think. No, I'm not. So here's what I'm not going to admit that I was wrong and I don't think it's real. I will never do that.
You would never admit you were
I'm
wrong.
getting increasingly worried that the truth will never come out. That this will forever be Schrodinger's slap. That we will not know.
That will never know the truth.
That we'll never know the truth.
Why is that a personal fire? I'm not making the connection here. I'm really not.
I don't know if I did a good job.
I don't know if I'm following this at all.
Basically, my Firefest is just that I took a stance, and now I'm worried that over time I'll never be able to prove everyone that I'm right, and maybe even eventually be proven wrong.
Okay, that's fair.
I
Yeah.
got some people in the chat that agree with me. Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
fair enough. All right. Let's move on here. We are going to be joined momentarily by Sam Abuelsamid. He's the principal analyst at e-mobility at Guidehouse Insights. He has done some pretty in-depth research on the self-driving car universe theme, and he understands the space pretty well and who is poised to benefit. So that'll be coming up here in a moment.
How many billions is 2,463 million? Is that just 2.4 bill?
2,000 million, yes,
Okay.
is 2 billion.
All right. Let me see if
1,000 million is a billion.
1,000 million is a billion. 1,000 million is a
Just
billion.
think about it.
1,000
What's
million.
999 million?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
100 million is 100 million.
Right,
What's
right,
1,000 million?
right.
A billion. All right.
Yep. Why do you ask
Oh,
that?
I was gonna. Okay, 'cause I don't even know if she. So I have a trick. You can start typing someone's name on YouTube to see if they're still in the chat. I think she left the chat. So
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
even gonna bring it
yeah,
up.
you can do that.
I'm not even gonna bring it up. But if I were to bring it up, Holly brought up Lululemon, and I
They
was
have earnings tonight, everyone. Make sure you know that if you're trading Lululemon.
right, and I was looking at Lululemon because
You want to here? Let's pull up the chart.
I got it on my BZ Pro, but I gotta get in the. All
Here we go.
right,
Lulu.
so I've been looking
Look
at
that
Lululemon.
move. Look at that move today.
I know.
Everything right off the open. Everything off the open did something crazy. It was a weird open. Anyway, here's the daily. Go ahead.
So I've been looking at Lululemon because, as you can see, we were at highs of around $500 back in November, December. 480.
The all-time high. What's that? November
480.
17th of 477.
So Lulu, like a lot of other stocks, reached highs and around that time, then actually came crashing down, and then once we got down to around like $300, I started saying, "Oh, there's just some good value here in Lulu. I think the company is very strong." But I was looking into some financials, Spencer, and right now, Lulu's trading at I want to say the market cap's 45 billion.
43, trading at a forward PE of 36. It is still a very expensive stock.
So that's what I was looking at. So when I went to
EV to EBITDA.
when I went to the
29, it is
financials
expensive,
and I
yes.
went to the income statement for the full year last year, Lululemon brought in $2.5 billion.
Let's go.
Sounds like a lot, but when your company's valued at $45 billion, think about it. You're saying, okay, if you need that sort of income I don't even know if it was gross profit for 20 plus years to make your money back on your investment. It just still seems expensive to me.
So the numbers we're gonna get tonight are for Q4. This is historically, of course, Lulu's best quarter ever, best quarter of the year, just because of the way the holiday season works and the cyclical nature of retail sales. So here we have an estimate. There's a chance they're going to report more than $2 billion in quarterly revenue for the first time ever. So I'm looking at the earnings calendar here, and the revenue is growing. You have to look at year over year, not quarter over quarter. So you got to compare like Q3 to the last Q3 to the last Q3. Earnings are growing. Revenue is growing. Are they growing at a consistent rate? I can't quite tell from this table, but so what your take here is it's overvalued, is your take?
I think it's still a little expensive to be like a $50 billion stock, but you're only bringing in $2 billion. I mean, $2 billion in revenue, it's not nothing. It's something. I do like Lulu long term. When I was looking at the financials, yes, I leaned toward overpriced. With that said, they're probably going to fucking crush it this quarter, and their stock's probably going to be up 10%. Who knows?
Wait. Who is dropping the expected move in there?
MD. He said it was about $17.
No. That's our age. Oh no, $24.
And then RH Restoration Hardware's expected move 45. I
can't be a consumer of these companies.
Well, I was just gonna say
I cannot be a consumer of either of these companies.
I actually see these companies like in a very similar light, right?
I'm too
kind of like premier luxury goods, but that have somehow kind of broken into the mainstream, right? Like people, obviously I don't need to talk about how popular Lululemon is, right? It's not, even though it's like a luxury good in a way. It's
in the Becky fund.
Right, but it's not something that, it's not like Louis Vuitton. Like it's not like you need this much money to go to. Restoration Hardware kind of more is. Like I think Restoration Hardware, I don't think a lot of normal people can shop there at all.
No, not at all. I found out the other day, apparently producer Rohan exclusively wears Lululemon pants.
No, he got a pair of jeans.
Well, that's what brought it up.
I have 3 pairs of Lululemons and 1 pair of jeans.
Can we do a quick survey? I was never given a correct answer on this, so I'm asking for myself. What is the acceptable amount of days to wear a single pair of jeans before you wash them?
Oh, I mean,
like consecutively?
Both consecutive and non-consecutive.
Non-consecutively, there is no number as long as like they don't just like
as long as they're
not dirty or they don't smell really bad.
Okay.
Consecutively, I'd say
2 weeks.
What?
Oh wow!
What?
I was gonna say 3 days.
No, I'd say you can go 2 weeks. Easy.
2 weeks
of every single day or like every week. Let's get some clarity.
As long as you're not wearing them at night.
Holy cow! I thought we're talking. Okay, wait. Sorry, I didn't know that.
It depends what you're doing. Okay, if you're like out there running around and sweating and stuff, that's one story. But if you're just sitting in your chair,
Aaron, what say you here?
I said for consecutive days in a row.
Yeah.
You wear the same pair of jeans 3 days in a row. That's fine. 4 or 5 days.
Maybe
probably pushing
it. Okay.
But you can probably get away with, like, if you're just thinking in terms of a week, you can probably get away with Thursday, Friday, wash them over the weekend. But like I said, if you're not talking about wearing them because I've actually heard this about jeans. If you wear a pair of jeans and you don't get them dirty or anything, you're actually like not supposed to wash them. It's like bad for the denim.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's just big denim.
What I'm saying, big denim would want you to wash them, so you got to buy more once they get washed out.
No, big denim want.
He has a point.
Okay, right. So here's what was my point though, was going to be, if I like say I was wearing a pair of jeans to work today and I get home and take them off and they're not dirty, I'm not supposed to clean them because they're not dirty. I don't think there's a limit on days non-consecutive that you can wear without washing.
Okay,
like it could be like 3 years, and if you're wearing the same pair of jeans like once a week and they just never get dirty, you're probably fine.
The takeaway here is that there's no consensus whatsoever. Everyone seems to have a different opinion.
Consecutive days.
If you can get your jeans in the sunlight, like if they're just like hanging out in some sunlight, then that tends to keep them relatively clean.
So I'm gonna go with what I've been doing.
Wait, Holly's back in the chat now. Holly, we were just talking about your Lululemon. Let us know, Holly. Let us know in the chat what you think about Lululemon earnings tonight.
Well, David says it depends if you wear underwear, which I guess does factor into the equation here. But I'm going to go with what I've been doing, which is at most 3 days in a row.
That's what I said.
That's going to be my rule of thumb now. At most 3 days in a row, one pair of jeans, single pair of jeans. All right.
I don't think I've worn a pair of jeans since COVID started.
You're wearing jeans right now.
I'm wearing black pants, Spencer. These are not denim. I don't know.
Yes, they are. What are you talking about? All right, whatever. Hey, I don't know where Sam is. I hope he can join us soon because I want to talk EVs. We got a lot to discuss on the car front. Not just today, but tomorrow. This show is going to be a little bit different. Once a month, we do what's called our List Maker show, where we devote an entire show to talking about a specific theme. We've done alternative investments. We've done NFTs. Tomorrow's show is going to be devoted to EVs, all about EVs. Who are the biggest players? Obviously, we know, the automakers, but beyond just the automakers, right? Beyond the Teslas of the world. And the entire show will be devoted to that. That's going to go from 11 o'clock to like 1:30 tomorrow, right after live trading. So I'm in this like EV like mood, and I want to talk with this Sam. So I hope he can join us. But what time is
Ben coming on?
Ben coming on. Thank you.
12:30.
12:30. Okay.
15 minutes before
Great.
Rob Roy.
Okay.
What about trades? Let us know in the chat what. Wait, what? Yeah, let us know in the chat what stocks y'all are watching, what trades y'all are watching. I know Holly's watching Lululemon. We've got Restoration Hardware as well. I had a couple trades going today, Spencer, but I'm out of them now. Pretty flat day in my well, actually, hold on. Let me check my long-term portfolio because there was another. Today was another day that at least at one point everything in my long-term portfolio was green.
Did you see the headline from Sony, the PlayStation subscription that they're offering?
The what?
The PlayStation subscription service that's gonna it's basically just copying what Microsoft did with Xbox. But
wait.
What? Sony just announced today that they're expanding their PlayStation subscription offering.
Okay, hold on. I gotta look into this because I'm actually a PlayStation.
So PlayStation Plus. God, man, okay. You know what? I don't know who the first company was to come up with the idea of like adding a plus to the end of your thing. Can we retire that now? Okay, we've got Disney Plus, we've got Apple TV Plus, we have PlayStation Plus, we have a few more pluses. No more plus. Something else, please.
PlayStation Plus might have been the first one that I saw.
Fine, then they're allowed to stay.
I'm trying to think if Apple.
Can I read you the details?
Yeah.
Okay, PlayStation Plus will launch in June. Will combine the current Plus offering with PlayStation Now into one service. Gives you access to up to more than 700 games. There's 3 different pricing tiers. $10 a month is the basic tier. $60 for the year. It's $10 a month, $15 a month, or $18 a month, and it's going to be all subscriptions. This is what we talked about last week with Apple. You will own nothing in the future. You won't even own your PlayStation. You will subscribe to your PlayStation, and then they will come into your house and take it from you if you stop paying them. That's what will happen. Anyway, how is the Sony stock doing?
Okay, I'm not upset by this news, Spencer, but I'm frustrated by it.
Okay.
So I am a PlayStation Plus. So here's back in the day.
Back in the day.
Quick history lesson.
Back in like last week.
No, back in the day, Xbox, right? You had Xbox Live, and then you had PlayStation. I think it was just always called PlayStation Plus. Maybe it was PlayStation Network Live, whatever it was. One of the big selling points for PlayStation for a long time was that it came with the Live. Whereas for Xbox, for Microsoft, you had to buy Xbox Live. And then Sony figured out, hey, look, we've got a pretty loyal fan base with our PlayStations. We can probably charge a subscription-based thing for the Live, just like PSN, PlayStation Network. All right, thank you. we can charge just like Xbox does. And so they basically just copied Xbox and does the same thing. Now both Xbox and PlayStation have the similar thing where you can pay essentially like a Netflix for games, pay to play old games. But what you just read, Spencer, and I want an article about it too, is literally nothing new. That's why I'm frustrated. They've already had PS Now, which is what this is the ability to pay to play old games, a subscription service.
More the same.
So as expected, the new setup will ditch the PS Now name and instead merge that into the second tier, PlayStation Plus Extra. So all they're doing is just rebranding PS Now into a tier that includes the live and maybe making some minor changes, but then they get to put out this whole press release and have articles written about it. But nothing fundamentally is different about the offering.
All right. I didn't realize you were so fired up about this.
PS Now has been an online games catalog. I've had PS Now. I don't pay for it right now, but I've had it in the past. And yeah, you can pay to play. You pay $10 a month and you can download like any game from the thing one day and then play it for a little bit and then decide you want to play a different game. You remember GameFly?
No. I have to admit, my gaming knowledge stopped evolving in like 2008, 7, 8. So maybe 9. That's when I went to college and I kind of just stopped gaming from that point forward. So no, I don't know anything from the last decade. Sorry. I'm sort of like a black hole of knowledge.
No, GameFly it was funny. Like GameFly did or tried to do like what Netflix was doing. Like instead of they'll mail you a movie and you mail them back and you get a different one. It was for video games.
Oh, like okay. And what happened in that business?
I don't know. That's what I'm curious about.
Nobody has physical copies. That's the answer.
Well, I'm saying like they fumbled the bag. If they had like
they didn't.
First,
no one has physical copies.
Well, I know what I'm saying is if GameFly could have worked a way to get a deal with Microsoft and Sony, so they had like a streaming version of GameFly available, like that's what this is essentially. But I'm saying that they kind of fumbled the bag because they had an interesting idea and it didn't really work out.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of funny businesses like that, this is just your usual PSA that Redbox is public.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about MoviePass.
No. Redbox is a publicly traded RDBX. How's that stock doing? Not great. Not great. Does anyone still use Redbox? Oh, man. This thing got to $27 and now it's at $2.
So it's SPAC, right?
Yeah, it was SPAC. Ouch. So some things you just know. Some companies, however they go public, SPAC, IPO, direct listing, whatever it is, spinoff. Sometimes you just know this is a dog. This is not gonna work out, and it's not. All right. So I think Sam is having some internet problems, which is why he is not. I'm seeing several people. Hey, did anyone here? Everyone in the chat use Comcast? I'm seeing several reports of Comcast outages or problems.
Are there
network problems today?
Did Comcast win our contest of company with the most customer service complaints?
Yeah, unofficially, I think so.
I think it was between them and like Ticketmaster or StubHub. All right, yeah, quick check on my long-term portfolio. Every single stock that I own in this portfolio is green on the day.
That's what happens when there's peace.
You want to guess the biggest winner of the day? And the biggest laggard?
I don't know your portfolio. So, QuantumScape?
Yep, biggest winner of the day.
Biggest winner, okay.
Up 7.66%. Again, 2-day win streak for QuantumScape.
Okay.
Biggest laggard is a surprise.
I don't know what you own. SPY? Is it SPY? I have no idea.
Nope, it's NVIDIA. Biggest laggard of the day.
Oh, interesting.
Up only 0.2%.
It's basically flat.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we're green. We're green in everything except for
energy.
Not everything, but almost everything except for energy is up today. Healthcare looks very mixed.
I want to talk about, and so we do have Ben Rubizadeh is going to come on in about 13 minutes. But Spencer, I did want to talk about one of my favorite. Actually, I'll go ahead and say my favorite all-time stock.
Your favorite NVIDIA?
Apple.
It's not NVIDIA? It's not. I thought Apple was your favorite stock ever. Or NVIDIA was your favorite stock.
They go back and forth.
Okay.
Apple is more like Apple is my favorite stock of all time, including the past. Nvidia is my favorite stock of all time,
future.
only looking forward.
All right, here's Nvidia. What do you got for me?
I want to talk about Apple.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Okay. Here's Apple. What do you got for me?
Okay, so do you remember?
Oh, wait, the win streak is going to continue. Best win streak for Apple, longest win streak since 2010. 2010. It's been 12 years.
So thank you, Spencer. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Sorry.
So Apple yesterday finished its 10th straight day up, its longest win streak, like Spencer said, since 2010. And then always with one of these stats, the question becomes, well, what did Apple stock do after that? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Yes. What did it do after that, Aaron?
So after the 10-day win streak in 2010,
zoom out to a monthly here. We can go back to 2010.
It ended up doubling from there, up another 100% in less than 2 years after that point.
So here's 2010. I'm gonna guess the win streak.
So
happens.
by August, right there. So by August 2012, if you can find August 2012.
Well,
so this is split adjusted.
Hold on. Yeah. So, but it topped out there for looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Topped out there for 4 months.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm not talking about short term.
Okay.
So basically,
dude, this chart is remarkable. Periods of win streaks, then consolidation. Big gain, consolidation, big gain, consolidation. That's kind of the exception to that trend, but that's pretty remarkable. It's like a stairs.
So, so bottom line, Apple 10 days up in a row in 2010. The following 2 years doubled from there, and then of course, if we wanted to look at what happened from 2010 till now, it's up more than 1,000%. So overall, I mean, anytime you have a stock that can have that many buyers come in for 10 days in a row without there being, more sellers to where the stock would go down, just shows how strong the stock is and the sentiment currently on Wall Street. The other thing I wanted to talk about with Apple is a few months ago when Apple was at its highs, Apple became the first publicly traded company, I think any company, to reach a $3 trillion market cap. And we are back on that train. It should be here in a couple bucks at 181. The question is,
181 is our price for 3 trillion?
I believe so.
All right.
Someone in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong.
That sounds right.
Question is, when do we pass that 3 trill again? At this rate, it's like tomorrow.
I'm smelling a bet. This smells like a fun bet. Okay. So when does Apple, so what does it have to do? Does it have to just get above?
Or does it have to close
Or it
above?
has to close above?
I think
I'm going to say it just has to get above.
All right. It just has to cross the $3 trillion market cap again.
Yeah. And you said the price is what? 181.40?
Let's see. I can probably find this.
Yeah, Black Mage, Happy in the chat has a solution for you on the crypto contest. Make sure you have your pop-up blocker turned off. Anyway,
all right, I'm reading an article. I assume in this article they're going to
say.
All right,
Darren disagrees. Yeah, closing above means more, but screw it. Let's just go with it, reaching it. So, assuming the price is 181 and change, Aaron's going to figure that out. Let's say today Tuesday.
Oh, right. And if we close up today, you'll have to go back to 2003 to find the last time.
All right, let's say end of the week. End of the week.
I think it happens before. I don't think anything can slow down the strength that Apple's showing right now. I think you would need Tim Cook to walk into Foxconn and murder someone for Apple stock price to fall from here.
Foxconn specifically?
That's their factory, right?
One of their suppliers, not the only one.
Yeah, that's their biggest. I don't know. Go to Cupertino and
does Apple hit 181? Assuming you gave me the exact price.
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Does Apple cross $3 trillion market cap by the end of the week?
What do we have to do? Do we just have to take 3 trillion and divide it by the amount of shares of Apple there are out there?
I'm sorry. What was the question? I wasn't reading the chat.
What do we have to do to find this number? Do we just have to take 3 trillion and divide it by the amount of shares that are out there?
Yeah, that can work. Well, what's the market cap?
It's like 2.9 trill right now.
Okay. So divided by divided by the float? Yes? Shouldn't that be the trick?
Here's what I'm trying
Very
to figure
simple
out.
math
Is
equation.
I'm looking at like four different articles from different places that are talking about 3 trillion back in focus for Apple. Not one of the articles I've pulled up has mentioned the share price that we need to see for that to happen.
But the problem is it can be A, it's a moving target, and B, not every like the denominator here could be different, right? Depending on what kind of, if you want to include like restricted shares or preferred shares or whatever.
This is why.
Thank you, Ajum. That's the equation right there.
Price
Times 3 trillion divided by the current market cap.
All right. This is why some people, I think, struggle to get into investing in finance.
Yeah, and there's the buybacks too. That's why I said it's a moving.
Can't we just simplify things?
It's a moving target.
Can't we just always try to make things as simple as possible?
Okay, 181.50. Is that a nice round number?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's right. If we go to Twitter, Apple, I'm just gonna search
if it's right at this
I'm
point.
just gonna search Apple 3T. See if it pops up. Oh, also, do people care about the trimesters? Yesterday was the end of T1.
What the hell is that? What?
Oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
What are you talking about?
No, that doesn't make sense. That can't make sense because we haven't even finished Q1
We
yet.
haven't even finished the first quarter yet.
For the record, I figured that out after I said it. That can't be right.
What are you talking about? Okay, the first trimester is probably in April, right?
Yeah, 4 months. It's got to be the end of April. 4 months.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Math is hard, guys. Well,
No, okay, hold on. It's not like I like tried to do math in my head and I didn't and I couldn't.
Moving on here.
No, hold on before you move on.
gosh.
Before we bring on our first guest. Look,
Yeah, let's
I was
get Ben on.
This is my favorite follow on Twitter. One of them, Helene.
Can we get Helene on the show? I've reached
out to her.
She's good.
Oh shoot, maybe I haven't. I thought I DM'd her on Twitter, but now it doesn't look like her DMs are open.
The DMs are closed.
Where was it? What was I gonna find?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Oh, see, she said today is T2. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. What's that even referring to?
I don't know. I thought it was like, Q2, T2, trimester 2. Oh. What is T2? Trades settle in 2 days, which is end of quarter.
Oh, that's what she's referring to. Okay, thank you. It's
like T minus.
If you're doing any end of the quarter, window dressing, management, whatever, we trade settle T+2, right? So you have to make those trades today so they settle before the end of the quarter. Although it's different in Canada. In Canada, I think it's marked from the date of the trade. In the US, it's marked from the date of the I'm sorry. In Canada, yeah. No, in the US, it's T+2. It's marked settlement date. In Canada, it's the day of the trade. So you can do it like on the last day of the quarter, I think, if you want. If you're doing any like end of quarter shit, basically. But in the US, I remember this because end of the year we had this conversation with Dennis. But in the US, you have to go T-2 right to back your way into the end of the quarter. So
also just a few other tidbits I've found on Helene's Twitter feed over the past day. Okay, remember we were talking about how the VIX was above 30 for a while, then it dipped below VIX on 30 was seen as a bullish sign.
Yeah, I don't look at the VIX.
That came from LPL data, Ryan Dietrich.
Yeah, hardly ever.
We've actually dipped below 20 now. So VIX has moved down by a third in about a week. So Apple's 7.1% weight in the S&P 500 today is the largest weighting we've seen for any individual company going back to 1980. Why don't they tell us what company that was in 1980?
If I had a guess.
Oh, IBM.
Oh, he did say it?
Well, it says, I'm guessing, IBM, Microsoft,
yeah,
XOM.
IBM, yeah. I was going to guess not IBM.
I would have guessed an energy company.
But something like that. Anyway, that data is, I'm not going to argue with it, but it can be a little misleading because the top companies have always made up a disproportionate amount of the weighting in the index. If you want to play with the numbers and go top 1, top 3, top 5, top 10, top 20, whatever, they always account for a large part. So it's not as alarming as you make it out to be. Let's bring on our guest here. Let's bring on Ben. Should we bring Ben on?
Wait, Mike Murray didn't get me one?
Mike Murray, come on, man. Whatever you have, share it with us.
I can't.
Why not?
I got 6 of them.
For you?
What'd you get? Come share it with us. You can't share it with us. All right. He doesn't want to share. Whatever he got over there, he's not sharing. Whatever. Sharing is caring. That's all right. Let's bring on our special guest today. Extra special guest. Ben is here. Well, hey, Ben, we were just arguing just now. Not arguing, more of questioning. Can you tell us the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Oh, yeah, sure. Rabizadeh.
That's exactly what I said.
I told you.
I told you that. That's what I said.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
Rabizadeh.
Yes. Thank you for that intro. We got extra special hosts here, and Spencer and Aaron.
Extra
Honored to
special.
be
We
here.
That's
got
what we do.
only extra special hosts for our extra special guests. Ben, I gave you a quick intro earlier for people that are new here. Ben runs Story Trading. You can follow it on Twitter. The handle's up there on the screen. I'll also drop the link to the website in the chat. But Ben's been a recurring guest on our show, friend of the program. Came on, what is it now, about 6 months ago. Biggest claim to fame was August. So
Air. Yeah, that's how it kicked off.
that is about 6-7 months ago. Air, AHR. Ben gave us that one at like what $3-4. It ended up running at 20. So great pick from Ben. We've also gotten a few other picks, including what is it, SMBI?
SMSI. Actually, it's a good you bring that up. I wasn't going to talk about this, but just the 30-second update for those who are still tracking SMSI. Yesterday, they had a big product release with T-Mobile. T-Mobile finally launched the SMSI app. It's called T-Mobile Family Mode, and I think, and a lot of people in our community think it's an inflection point for the company. So you saw the stock go up like 10% yesterday. It's up another 4% today. So just real excited about that. We actually wrote a little update for Benzinga, and it's in the news feeds.
Wait. I'm sorry. What was the ticker on that?
SMSI.
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason it wasn't showing up. That's weird, but now it is. Okay.
All right, Ben. So if you want, you are able to share your screen. I understand you have a stock today that we want to talk about. It actually goes very well with our theme for the day, which is just identifying potential short squeezes, different stocks, of course, that we saw running in the past, that we saw running again yesterday while you were talking about AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, Cost, Naked Brands, you name it. Those stocks were running yesterday. Ben's got one for us today, and he's going to go ahead and share us his story.
All right, great. So first, just quick disclaimer, Story Trading is not an investment advisor, neither am I. So Story Trading, we look at things based on our 4 pillars of sentiment, catalyst, fundamentals, and technical. So as I go through this story on Kodak, it's ticker symbol KODK. I'm going to be referencing those 4 pillars. Now, this we gave this presentation Sunday night to the Story Trading community, so some of these slides might be a little outdated. It says last trade $6.56. I think it's around $7 now. But I did update some because there was new information that came out yesterday. So here's the chart again from Sunday night on Kodak, and we're going to be looking and analyzing, trying to learn the price action based on those 4 pillars as we just talked about. So I'm going to go into the story of how I got into this trade. I'm still in it. I put the stock on watch, right? I put this on watch because we get lots of tips from different collaborators, different people. In this case, there's someone by the name of Rexman. I'll give you his handle on Twitter later. Really great technician. And a couple of weeks ago, he put out a list of basically stocks that can short squeeze, right? Kodak was one of them. Tilray was another one, which I'm actually holding. And it looks like it's squeezing right now. And so I had it on watch, but I didn't go in because I'm not a technical trader. I'm a story trader. I need more than one pillar, right? So I had it on watch over here. And I said, you know what? Does he think it's squeezing because of sentiment? It did go from $2 to $60 last year. So maybe it's just squeeze sentiment. People think, oh, this thing's going to squeeze again. But that still wasn't enough for me. I didn't get in. I had it in my mind, had it on my watch list. Also, like cameras, like Kodak, right? What's nothing sexy about that, right? No one likes a camera company like GoPro, has very poor sentiment, and the stock is kind of undervalued because of that. So I had it on my watch list, and then what happened? The catalyst started hitting. All right, then it came. We had 2 days after the earnings report in mid-March. We saw huge insider buying by Kennedy Lewis Investment Manager and director of the company. He bought 2.7 million shares on the open market. That was 3.4% of the outstanding shares, mostly in one day. It caused the stock to spike from the 20 DMA to the 200 DMA in one session, which you can see right here. Yeah. So I actually bought right after I saw that insider get in. I said, all right, Rex knew something. All right. Like, now we got another pillar. Now it's not just the technicals of squeeze potential, but now it's a catalyst of an insider buy, right? So I bought it, and then the buying continued. Another director a couple days later buys 18,000 shares. Not as big, but maybe is not as wealthy as a guy, Michael Silek, but, I'll take that. And then yesterday, there was here from Benzinga Pro. Look at that. Benzinga Pro had it. KLM, that first director who bought like 2.7 million on the open market, it looked like he added another couple million. Well, the details of the purchases aren't clear, but now it's a 7.8% stake. So this director and the other director, they are buying up the stock of Kodak. So what the heck is going on? I thought to myself over the weekend before that 13D came out yesterday, is there a fundamental reason why these directors are buying? Let's dig a little deeper. I have a couple fundamental slides for you from Y charts. We have EV to EBITDA is 6.89, 6.9, not too expensive. EV to revenue, very low. So that's all good. I look at this, institutional ownership is going up, short interest is going down. Something could be going on here. As I said, the buying started right after this earnings release, and you can see the numbers look good. Revenue is rising, income's rising, operational EBITDA is rising, strong balance sheet. So that's all good. So everything's improving. And by the way, that there was a blackout period, so it's obviously bought right after blackout period ended. But I didn't see anything which stood out in that press release that makes it exciting for me. It's still, just a boring camera company. So I said to myself, was there something on the conference call? I went to get to the conference call transcript, and yes, there was something on the conference call, and it's a doozy. Now, what I'm about to show you is the conference. Now, I'm not showing you the conference call transcript. I'm going to show you the slide deck that accompanied the conference call transcript, because they were basically reading from this slide deck, okay? And here it is. New initiatives in advanced materials and chemical business. Material manufacturing. Over the past several years, Kodak has been using its pilot coating facility to work with battery developers to coat their materials on substrates for EV energy storage batteries. Here's a key point. Full-scale production. They're now repurposed one of their machines for full production of coating these EV batteries. So I said, aha, that must be the reason that these directors are buying. That's my supposition. And then you can find additional supporting information that they're hiring people. It says, this is a startup opportunity serving the electric vehicle market. Come join us and be part of the transformation to clean energy. This is Kodak. So why is this significant other than the obvious, right? What I found very interesting about this statement is that it said over the past several years, they were piloting this, but they're only revealing it now. Why would they only reveal it now? There's no mention of EV batteries anywhere on their website. There's no other prior press releases about this. They were silent about this quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter, just silence. Then all of a sudden they put this out in a kind of quiet way, and there was no Q&A on the conference call. They just hung up, and as soon as that ended, the blackout period, the director purchases 3.4% of the company. So I think they were a little bit quiet about this because he wanted to make these open purchases. They didn't want to put a press release out there. They legally fulfilled their obligation, I guess. And the other thing about the language I love, why it's significant, is because based on the language, it looks like they're now ready to ramp to production, or at least it says they're exploring production, but based on the insider buying, I think those insiders know that hopefully massive production orders are going to be coming. So now I want to revisit sentiment. It's not just cameras anymore. They're entering one of the hottest spaces on the market, EV batteries. And in fact, again, they've been working on it for 3 years already, and they're likely ramped to production. A quick look at the technicals here, as I showed you earlier. What's very significant for me is this big move here. There was like no retail chatter on it. This was purely caused, I think, by 3 million net share buying that day by the insider. And then you have 200 DMA support. So this gave me, by looking at the technicals and the sentiment catalyst, everything gave me very strong conviction to enter down around here at the 200 DMA. I don't think it's going lower. So we collaborate with Rexman. I told you earlier, his handle is Rexman74. This is a chart he shows. It says Kodak holding and rebounded above the long-term resistance breakout lines. Currently, there's a major trend breakout at the circle. If the breakout holds, this can test former highs from previous years. So potential big upside with basically, I think, almost no risk of downside at the 200 DMA. Again, summary of those 4 pillars: fundamental, solid, and improving; catalyst, huge insider buys, huge, and entering the EV battery space. Technicals, again, 200 DMA support, look for targets above; and sentiment, no longer just about cameras. So I think this might be primed for some exciting action.
There you go. And Ben, so
this is interesting.
Okay, so I love, one of the things I love about having you on the show, we get a lot of people that come on the show that, pitch us a stock or talk about some trade ideas, whatever. You always come so very well prepared. You do your due diligence. It's very evident. And the other thing I like is just like you, I'm not really, I wouldn't call myself a technical trader. I wouldn't say I'm really like a fundamental trader either. I kind of just try to take in everything and then make my decisions based on the information I have available. Now, with that said, I don't love this pick right here. And here's why. I'm just trying to give you some devil's advocate, and I think we can agree on, strategy, how we come to the, without having to agree on every single, stock if we like it or not. I don't like when companies seemingly try to just like say what, like we saw Kodak say they were a vaccine play. We saw them say they're an NFT, like crypto play. Now they're saying they're an EV play. It sounds to me that they're just trying to like throw shit at the wall and see what sticks in terms of what attracts investors. Now the flip side to that is Kodak's main business of producing these old digital cameras, whatever it is very antiquated. So if they do, this is the argument I've heard in the past, that they have these factories, they have this infrastructure that's not being very well utilized because there's not a lot of demands out there for cameras. What can we use this infrastructure for? I do think there's ways to kind of pivot from there. I just don't, Kodak, after seeing what they've done the past 3 years and saying like what they want to get into, what they've tried to say to entice investors, to me, it is more of a red flag than it is a reason to want to buy the stock.
Okay, let me respond to that. I think that you're speaking to sentiment a lot over there, which is important. It's actually one of the most important factors in the market, I believe. And it's actually a misnomer and a misperception that they're just in cameras. They have a huge chemical business with all sorts of chemical. It's a lot. You go to their website, you can see a whole big section of chemicals and coating processes. And so it's not like they just jumped into EV out of nowhere. They're leveraging their experience in coating materials and different chemicals, and they've been working in the EV battery space for 3 years. And that's what's so crazy, is that they've been working on this quietly, and now it's ramping to production, right? So it's not such a big jump. If you go look at their website, you'll see the diversification of their business is not just cameras, but it's a big chemical business. And then the other thing I'll add to that is that move from 2 to 60 had something to do with getting a grant from the government for the coronavirus, I guess, but I'm not sure if it worked out. But in this case, you have huge, massive insider buying on the open market also. Like, to me, that's like one of the strongest indicators that whatever's happening now is a fundamental inflection point for the company. So that's how I put two and two together. And they listed 4 new initiatives in the conference call transcript. The EV business was the first one they mentioned, the first one they focused on. And to me, it's the most obvious, that has, the biggest TAM. And that's probably, I'm thinking, the reason why the directors are buying is that, this probably is a big business. That's my guess coming up.
Okay, and I do want to clarify. Like I said, like I think there is value in saying, okay, we have these factories or this infrastructure, these materials, but we need to pivot, we need to do something. So I'm not saying it's dumb for Kodak to try to get into the EVs. I'm just saying I would feel better about this right now, about Kodak going into the EVs, had they not already gotten into becoming a vaccine player, an NFT play, and now it's an EV play. I'm rooting for. I want EVs. I want to continue to see that industry grow. I'm long that space. So that's my thought on it.
It's good to get that thought. I love getting that feedback, because obviously the market is always weighing the bull versus the bear thesis, and a lot of it is based on sentiment, a ton of it. And part of what I do is try to get feedback from all sorts of people, whether it's reading social media posts, collaborating with people in our community, and the most important thing is actually sentiment. That's what causes when you have a fundamentalist looking at what's the fair value for the stock. Stocks hardly ever trade at their fair value. They always trade at a premium or a discount. And they do so because of sentiment, right? Because of perception. What's the perception out there? And a lot of times the biggest re-ratings you get in stocks is when sentiment shifts and sentiment changes. So it's so valuable to have your feedback on that. It doesn't move me, but it's good that it's good to hear that, because it makes me understand the market better, right? So if when additional catalysts may happen on this, I can kind of predict how are the market participants going to react or not based on that.
And oh, sorry, go ahead, Spencer.
No, I first I was going to say I think the official textbook definition of this of what this is called, this whole thing, I think it's called a pivot. Pivot? I just wanted to play that video. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to do. Second thing is, I can, even though I am sort of in the camp as Bree, I can appreciate that it seems like they learned from the vaccine mishap, where now they're kind of slow playing or underplaying this. The insider buys are not to be ignored. That's
agreed.
That's a valuable piece of insight.
I love insider buys. Talk about them all the time on the show.
We love insider buys. So I think it's fair to say, though, that this is a show me story, as they say on cable news. Show me story. They have to prove that they can do it. When they do, if they do, then yes, it will cause a massive re-rating of the stock.
And that was, again, I just wanted to reiterate that point, was that this story, I'm just saying I would be more highly convicted on it had we not had these other things in the past. And someone in the chat pointed out that Kodak themselves weren't saying, right, like someone said they never said vaccine, but we're talking about sentiment right now, Ben. And when the stock had run in the past, that was the sentiment out there. That was, oh my God, Kodak, look what they're doing with this chemical. They're getting into vaccines. They're getting a grant from the government. That was the sentiment. I'm not saying Kodak said it.
Yeah, not a vaccine. It was just a drug to fight the virus.
It was just a drug to fight the virus.
Right. So correct the record.
Or the sentiment was that, Kodak has an easy way to get into NFT, whatever the sentiment is.
The NFT thing. Oh.
Right. So
right. So you're saying basically there were false alarms before based on
it's almost like man or boy who cried wolf. Right? Like this could be the real pivot that takes Kodak from a $7 stock to a $100 stock, and I might miss out on it because I'm thinking about what's happened in the past. Right. So I'm rooting for you. I'm just letting you know why maybe my conviction isn't as high. Had this pitch come up without the NFT or the vaccine thing.
I think without the insider buys, I'd be totally on your page. I wouldn't have the conviction either. If it was just something on the press release, hey, we're going into these new businesses, that wouldn't be so newsworthy to me that they're trying to get into EV batteries. But combined,
and honestly, I still might follow you on this trade because I love insider buys that much, right? Spencer and I
linchpin. It's that I got in because of the insider buys, but I was questioning why. Right. And to me, this is why. It's the EV battery business.
If anyone wants to read a really good article, it's a long article. It's from The Atlantic. It came out last summer about sort of the rise and fall of Kodak. I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. It's from The Atlantic. I remember reading it last summer.
I don't love everything Atlantic does, but they do do some good work. Some like deep dives.
Yeah, they do some good deep dives, and it's a long article. But if you're into Kodak, you should probably check it out. It's really just about like how they were like the kings, and then they were not the kings, obviously, anymore.
All right, guys. So at Story Trading on Twitter, you can also follow. Wait, Ben, that's not you. You have a personal Twitter too, right?
I do have a personal. I try to push my brand. Personal is Ben Rubizadeh. I post on both of them.
All right, I'll do you a favor. I'll post that link in the chat. I'll post the link to the website as well, Story Trading, just because there's always some good info there. Always a pleasure to have you, Ben. Like I said, I love a lot of times we'll have guys on that are like, yeah, I like this stock. It's a good stock, you know, and they don't really have a full-fledged pitch. You come on with the pillars.
He's thought this through a little bit.
And like I said, I'm like you, Ben. I don't like to rely solely on the chart. I like hearing the story.
I can't do technical trading. Drives me nuts because it's just trading numbers. It's not interesting. I got to understand the story. I'm trading companies and stories, not numbers. So not my thing. Hate technical trading.
Like and even if we don't agree, we can at least appreciate. I can appreciate anyone that like takes the time to like try to convince me, you know. And it's not just like surface level BS. So you know,
I mean, think about all the people who had like called Kathy Wood or Gene Munster crazy about Tesla, and then they come back in 5 years and are like, "Who's crazy now?"
Boom! Thanks a lot, Ben.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right, wait a minute. Before we bring Robert Roy on, something going on with Peloton? Hold on. Hold on now. Let's get my chart up on the screen.
They do it? Oh, are they getting bought out?
Oh, shit. This is happening now.
Should we buy some right now? I might buy a couple shares right now. Are they getting bought out?
Wait, what was I? Oh, never mind. We'll do it later. Peloton spiking. Literally.
Please don't tell me Apple. Please. If Apple...
Good. Vindication. This will be vindication for me.
I'm going to go home. If Apple's buying Peloton, I'm literally going to go
This will be vindication for Spencer.
Why? At least you said Apple would do it?
Specifically to Dennis. Because Dennis was like, no one's buying... Not to you. You were on my side. Peloton, and Dennis was like, no one's buying Peloton. No one's going to buy this company. I don't know. Wait, what's happening? In all seriousness, what is happening right now?
Are you doing a Dennis or Joel there? You sounded more like Joel.
I don't know. I was neither. Both? Neither? I don't know. Who cares? I'll
be really upset if Apple buys. And I'll make another prediction. If it comes out that Apple is buying Peloton,
I think
Apple stock goes down like 3%. It ruins the.
Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. It's not it.
Okay, thank God.
That's not it.
Thank God.
Soon you can turn any room with a TV into a Peloton. What? Into a Peloton gym.
Okay, so they're just doing P90X. They're just doing P90. They're taking an idea from 15 years ago and saying, "Oh, what if we just put workouts?"
Wait, they already have this.
Put workouts on the TV.
I mean, in the gym over in the Stott, they have TVs with Peloton things attached.
The gym over in where?
At the Stott, it's like a building couple over.
Wait. So if I'm understanding this correctly, you connect your TV to.
It's like it's connected to like an iPad or something. I don't know.
Whatever. That's not it. All right, this is not interested
It's really
anymore.
just P90X.
Let's bring on Robert Roy. Let's get his thoughts on Peloton. Hey, Robert Roy.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Live from the studio.
Yeah, we're in the studio today.
Look at that ticker bar up top too. Are you getting that data from
Those
us?
aren't real-time quotes.
Are you getting that data from us?
I'm not sure where that is coming from.
Those are not real. Those I'm calling it now. There is no way those are real-time quotes.
We can get you that data.
They're not real-time.
We can get you that data, Rob. Whoever the current provider is, we'll beat them out.
I pay $10 a month.
Okay, never mind.
We can do it for $9. we can do it for $9.50.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Listen, I got a call scheduled with Andrew here over the next little bit.
There we go. Nice.
Day, so, on the show today, they told me that you can beat the prize.
You can go.
Hey, from our lips, Rob.
Rob.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you were hanging out in backstage watching the show, but I'm sorry if you heard someone say they don't like technicals or don't like charts. I don't want you to feel like your feelings should be hurt right now.
No way. Absolutely not. Listen, there's different ways of doing things, right? You don't look at a Warren Buffett, and he's not per se the technical guy, right? He is the fundamentals guy. And
So you hit him?
No, listen, Warren Buffett is an idol. I mean,
okay.
Look what he's done.
Yeah,
and I am in awe. I was driving back to the airport, and the taxi driver says, "Hey, you want to go by Warren Buffett's house?" I'm like, "Man, I'm a little bit tight on time. I got to get a plane." He goes, "It's on the way." And he goes, "There it is." And I said, "Where?" And he goes, "That one." I said, "The one with the rusty bicycle in the driveway?" Yeah, the house is like 100 years old. It was interesting for a multi-billionaire. That's where he's living. And
yeah, he's gotten a lot of free press for being this like frugal billionaire, but he has
a private jet.
Yeah, he's got a private jet, $1 million vacation home. So he's look at my house in Omaha. But we love Warren too. You got to be able to poke fun at him sometimes.
Absolutely. Listen, I get it. I like the fact that you look at a CNBC and the only one he'll talk to is Becky Quick. Nobody else can interview him. Like, nope, just her. That's it.
I think he has famously kind of bad-mouthed charts and technical trading, but maybe he really is subconsciously trading on like using Fibonacci's on a higher level, and we just don't. Maybe he doesn't even know, or we don't know.
He is psychologically. The Fibonacci's there, whether you know it or not, in every aspect of your life. Go look. Go do any research on it. It goes back to at least 450 BC in Sanskrit. We're able to find Fibonacci. So
maybe we'll be able to do like a secret Da Vinci Code of Warren Buffett.
Bingo.
Ooh. And who knows? Maybe we'll go back and we can make some charts of when he bought Apple and he bought it right on the fib line. We'll find some things. We'll corroborate the evidence. We'll find evidence that corroborates our argument.
For sure.
Now, listen, if I was a long time buy and hold, I would definitely be focused on fundamentals. I would definitely be focused on the story and the details behind it. But I'm in and out in a day. I mean, I'm in Netflix today. We're looking to get out today. I'm not looking to hold. I'm going to be out of it today. So if it goes up tomorrow, I'll trade it again. No harm, no foul. I mean, we did Tesla on the announcement. What are we about $20 on the day on our option? It's up again today. It's okay. Listen, I sleep well at night with nothing being held over.
Yeah. Let's bring up Rob's charts. And Rob, any trades today?
So Netflix was the one big one that we did today. I missed out on two others, breaking my own rules by talking on the phone instead of focusing on the trade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just business, trying to run the business and do the trading at the same time, right? So we had this nice gap up above that 383.22 level. And you could see the retest that came back down in there where we bounced off of it, right? If we look at it from what do we got? Let me write it down so I don't forget. 383.22. Here's the disadvantage of me coming into the studio is I don't have any of my lines drawn on the charts because I drew them all at home.
Yeah.
So if we put in let's get rid of one of these. And we're looking at 383.22. I think that's it, right? Yep. 383.22. And then if we look at how we bounced today, so we gapped up, we came back and we just broke right through, right? I'm looking for the bullish move. I'm not looking bearish on this. Market's up, right? We came up, we retested, and Spencer, we talk about this every week. Look where I closed. Right on this candle, we closed. The next candle, we start to bounce. There's the entry. If it never came back and retested, if this was it and I missed it, so be it. I'm okay with it. And look at the run we've made. Off of 383, we're sitting at 389.5 right now. So about $6 move to the upside on the option. So on the stock position. So we're still in the position. I'm holding on right now. I'll manage this. If it stays where it is and I don't see something happen by that 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish period where we start to climb back up, I'll just exit out of the trade, call it a day. One contract drew up $300 to $500 on a contract, so I'm happy.
Well, what would be something happening?
We got to get back above these moving averages. So see how we've broken not only through the 8, but now through the 21. They've flattened off. So moving averages are no longer moving. They're not helping us any. There's no real oomph coming off of the moving averages. So get me above that moving average and start to show me some more climb, particularly if we can move up, retest it, and bounce. If not, if it just continues to stay under that yellow, which is the 21, I'm out of that trade.
Okay. All
right.
What else you got?
I missed Tesla today. Oh, it just killed me.
Tell us how you missed it.
I was on a phone.
Oh, You mentioned that.
Oh, I mean, Tesla and W Day, both of them. I was on the phone today, missed out on both of those. Let's see. Come on. TSLA. There we go. Right? We came back up. If we look here, let me actually take it back here since I've got some lines already drawn on Tesla. Right? So I've got some. So you've got some knowledge on Fibonacci, Spencer, right? You've got some understanding of it.
Yeah, a lot of it from you, honestly.
And that's fine. But the standard fib lines are these red, this purple, and the two blue lines. Anything that's in there black or pink, those are extra lines that have been added in. Okay. So if we look at today, we got this gap up on Tesla. And I just did not believe we were going to make that breakout to the upside. We ran up and we failed. And as it failed off of this 1103.15 level, I've got these pink and black lines are called Fibbits. They're Fibonacci pivots, something that I've developed in the last 15 years. It's basically a way of splitting a Fibonacci level and a reason behind why we split it. It's not just throw some lines in there. It's we split it for a purpose, for a reason. And that 1082.67 was our support level, and that would have been so 1082. About 1087 would have been our exit on this trade, about $5 off of there. Getting in at 1100, getting out at 8, that's a 13-point move that I completely missed out on today. So.
Yeah.
And on a phone, ringing phone does not mean you have to answer. It just means it is ringing. Right? Answer when the slow time in the market comes on. I know better. I
mean, yeah, it's just one of those things.
Well, today was good proof of why I should follow my own rules. I have students all the time that say, as long as I follow Rob's rules, I'm okay. As soon as I break them is when I get in trouble. So I am no different. Don't break my own rules.
Wait, so that you said Workday and you said Tesla.
Correct.
Those are the ones that you missed today. You're in Netflix.
I'm in Netflix.
Any other setups that almost but didn't quite materialize?
Those were the big ones. I looked at the trades that we set up from this morning. I mean, I'm a big GameStop and AMC fan when they're running like they are recently.
Yeah. They're running now.
Yeah,
not so much today.
We had on AMC we had down for both of them had moving to the downside. So they would both been bearish trades. We did a nice one yesterday on AMC. We picked up for the day 13 or 14 cents, I forget, somewhere around there for the day.
For today or yesterday?
This was yesterday. Today I didn't get any. I'm too busy with what was going on. These three stocks that I just gave you are all three: Tesla, Netflix, and W-Day are three that are on my 20 list that I trade technically every single day. I look to trade them. Right. So when they're running, that's a lot more important to me than trying to make 20 or 30 or 50 cents on a news play. We look at news every day, but it's much more important for me to take advantage of my main stocks that I trade because I know how they trade. I know how they eat, breathe, sleep, drink, what they do day in and day out, how they move, how much they move, and what their options should be worth on a Monday versus what their options should be costing me on a Friday. Right? I've got all that data on all these 20 companies, so they're the better ones for me to trade. If I can get them, and usually I'll get one or two a day that give me the opportunity. And SPY is one of those that almost always gives an opportunity.
Do you have any strategies as it pertains to end of the quarter or anything like that?
Everything for me is all technical, so it's all based on what's happening now. Strategies change slightly differently when we have a quadruple witching day, when there's more activity going on and a lot more closing out of option trades, forced to close out on the option trades. But other than that, KISS method, keep it simple, right? Just try not to get in the wrong place. Mr. Miyagi, best block, no be there.
Wait, what else did he say? Wax on, wax off. Bernice is asking how you find your trades. Can you go through your list again? Because you have a list of stocks that you will that's your home base. That's your home base.
Yep, and I'll pull it up right now. Again, not something that I hide. These are all the candidates. So the S&P 500, of course, we look at, and the VIX. Right, want to know what that is all the time. Adobe. I'm a big fan of Adobe. Amazon. Not sure how I'm going to like it after the split, but we'll see. Alibaba, lots of volatility with China going on there. Booking, right? Chipotle, Facebook, Google, Goldman Sachs, Home Depot, one of my favorite stores in the world, MasterCard, Netflix, NVIDIA, PANW, PayPal, Roku, SPY, Square, Tesla, United Healthcare, and WD. Guys, you could grab a screenshot of what's on there and use your phone, blow it up if it's a little too small for you. I really can't do anything with that size. It's just the size the software has. But those 20 candidates are day in and day out, right? Every one of those are day in and day out. Anything else that I do beyond that are filters that I've created on my charting platform to help me find the various trade setups.
Okay. We have a question from the chat. And by the way, if you guys have more tickers for Rob, you want him to run through your ideas, drop them in the chat. We have a question if you can look at NEO for us.
Sure. That already came up for me this morning from somebody. Well, let's see. Let's bring that down a little bit. All right. So here's a question I want everybody to write down if you don't know this or you haven't thought about it. The question is, what is the compelling reason for me to enter into this trade? So when I look at NEO, the only thing I see is this fear factor of drop, right? We were all the way up here at $65. Now we're down at that 20-ish range now, right? So what compelling reason is there to take a trade on this? Well, I see no reason to take a bullish entry on it. And remember, I am not the guy that will be the get in early and you caught the run. It's just not how I trade. Even when we do swing trade, that's not it.
I'm going to interrupt you, Rob. I'm assuming that everybody can hear you. I'm having some issues on my end with my producer, but I couldn't hear what you were just saying. But
let's try again. Maybe I just moved too far from the mic.
No. It wasn't you.
Okay.
I think everybody can hear you. I'm the only person that can't.
Got it. Got it. So the statement I made was, what compelling reason is there to take the trade? Right? And when you look at this chart, and I'll bring it back out again, there's no compelling reason to take a bullish entry. And I am not the person that figures out how to get in early. I'm the person that gets in as the position shifts in direction already. So it's already started making its move and has retested some sort of key level and bounced. Once that happens is where I start to get into that trade. And at that point, it's already made a move. You look at some of the stocks that have already moved now, I'm not the one jumping in early. But and actually, when you look at the numbers and I don't have the sheet here with me on this computer, the numbers that we've had over the last couple of months, and again, these are all example purposes only, right?
Okay.
But normally the goal in one of the programs we have is $25,000 a week. That's the goal of what we shoot for. This year, the first 3 months, we're over $540,000. It's insane what we've seen happen. And that's on this crazy market conditions. And now what happens? The market has shifted, and we were seeing $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 weeks. Last week was $18,000, and most of it was one trade, one Google trade. We did 3 of them on Google last week. One was a little bit profit. The other one was a wash. So we gave back everything on the one. And the one trade on Google was like 17 grand on one trade on Google, 4 contracts, day trade. So what compelling reason do we have on NEO to take a bullish entry? We don't. But if we do break to the downside, come back below the moving averages, come back below this 1942, retest and fail, then yes, I would be looking at a put option on NEO. For me to take a bullish entry, get back above that 23, retest and bounce, and then I'll take the bullish entry. Did I miss out on some? Yep. Am I trying to be this guy? Absolutely not. Not my type of trade, right? Not where I flourish the best.
Here's one, and this is a bit of a what was a high flyer. I know they had earnings yesterday, right? Yeah, DNA. So it's a lower price stock. This is a Kathy Wood favorite. I'm sure it's optionable. Well, I'm assuming it is.
We should look.
Probably should look, yeah.
DNA. Not that I can't analyze the chart, but just take a look-see at it. It's monthly options only. We open it up. Bid-ask spreads are not bad. Where are we with delta? So we've got one option that has a delta of 65 to 85 for this upcoming month. 65 to 75 is the bid ask. 11,000 even on the open interest. Volume today 3,400. So yeah, they have options on them, right? So, but until again, when we look at that question of what compelling reason do I take the trade, it's had a nice bounce at this point. Technically, I don't have a lot of good history in there. So let's do this.
Yeah.
So we've broken back up through my zero line. We are now in what I would call a neutral bias, Spencer. At this point, I would love to see it get above the 55. But if I was looking at this saying, all right, I'm willing to throw some money at this to try to get in early, I would look for it to retest this blue line, that 434 and bounce. And that would be my entry. My stop would be down below the moving averages in here. That's where I would be out of that position. Because again,
That's fair.
We looked at this yesterday. Someone had brought this up to me from one of our rooms. And we looked at it yesterday, and this move down from 16 to 3, was the high flyer comparative to where it is now. But it would be part of my speculative portfolio if I were going to trade it.
Yeah, I mean that's how you have. That's what you have to do for anything that is down. Whatever this is down 60, 70% more from its all-time high. From 15 to 5, so yeah,
exactly. 2/3 down from where it was.
If you're gonna throw it in your portfolio like that, know what you're getting yourself into. It's speculative play
at best, right?
Yeah. All right, so my mic is working, my headset is fixed because what was happening before, Robert, is because we're utilizing our mixer for a bunch of things, and I was hearing I was hearing you and somebody else in my ear at the same time, so it was very difficult to focus on what you were saying, but I would think I was able to more or less focus on what you were saying. That's all fixed now. Holy moly. I have a headache.
I bet.
So what else we got, guys? We got a couple more minutes with Rob. He joins us every other week to just hang out and talk charts, talk through setups, talk through what he likes, what he doesn't like. I'm trying to think now.
So Alibaba. I've got a couple of them on my list that I'm looking at for setups. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the run after the delisting issue. We've got this 115.93 level right here. There's black line. I'm looking at that retest. If we close where we are today and we get a bounce, we've got a room up to 123 tomorrow. So, and we move on this about $8 a day ish. So 15 to 23, we've got enough room to move to take that entire day, and you can see we did it here, right? So I like Bobber a lot as a potential. If we break to the downside, I'm not interested because now you're trying to drive in a very messy road, right? There's intersections all over the place, and you really can't maneuver around. All those moving averages are in the way. There's no clear path to our next target. Here, I've got a clear path to my next target, and we are now in a bullish bias on Alibaba. All right, so that's one. And if you have symbols you want me to look at?
Yeah, we got them. Do you only look at stocks that are optionable that trade on U.S. exchanges, right?
I can only pull up the U.S. stocks, yes, but I can look at any stock, optionable or not. But I don't trade it.
Right. Okay, so because Quack the Duck asked about Nintendo, but that doesn't trade on an exchange in the U.S. It trades OTC, so there may not be as much data or charts available. And also the U.S. is not a very liquid market for Nintendo. So let's look at Coinbase. This is interesting. I'm curious to get your thoughts on Coinbase here.
Yep. Great news yesterday, right?
Big run yesterday.
Yeah, big run yesterday. So we're in the middle of the two fibs at this point. We're still in a bullish bias. The bounce off the 55 could be an intraday setup. I would really prefer to see it back at that 191 level and the bounce off of there. But you're looking at 208.15 as our resistance. So I would be down below there as a target. I'd probably be about a buck below that. So right about 207 would be my target to get out of this trade. We never try to go right to resistance. You always want to give it some wiggle room. The expression, don't glean the fields. Don't try to get every piece of fruit off the vine when you go through, right? Leave some for the next guy. Goes back to that compelling reason. So whenever we see in the middle there, Spencer, I always look for a better candidate.
Okay.
And we're between two fibs.
So we're no man's land. What about
Right.
Net, Cloudflare, NET?
All right. So let me get a bigger picture view of Cloudflare.
Same chart. Look at that.
Well, the nice, you mean same chart by the way this is sitting above the zero line?
Yeah. And just they just look the same to me.
Well, I mean, look, so what is that telling us, right? Look what's happened. We look at the run that's taken place. We moved from, what is that, 82 up to 128. I would not have capitalized on any of this run in here. This retest and bounce would have been my opportunity from about 102 up to 124 if I was trading net, which I don't, right? We got the breakout yesterday and we got the retest today. If I can get, in an ideal world, if you didn't catch the bounce earlier today, I'd be looking for a close near that 124 level tonight or a pull back to it tomorrow and a bounce. And let's just make sure we've got that. 124 and 143 is 19 points. I don't have my other list open there. So let me just see real quick. This moves 99 is 18. All right, so we need to split that level in half. So we're going to apply a Fibit in there. Right, so all we're going to do, I've got a drawing tool that I've created that just has a 50% tool in there. We're going to split that in half. If we get the bounce off 124, 134 is our target. So I like the setup. I like that the moving averages have crossed. I like that the pink line is on top. I would like more if the green line was in the middle, because that would be 8 on top, 21 in the middle, and 55 brown on the bottom. If we can get that setup. That is our cleanest and clearest setup. And that may happen even with a pullback to that 124 level. So I like this one. I'm going to put them on my list for tomorrow.
Oh, all right. I feel like that's unusual for Rob to actually go as far as writing something down on his list. Congratulations, you mean.
There you go.
You have piqued Rob's fancy. Our last guest, Ben, just messaged me. He wants me to ask you about Starbucks.
Bucks.
Yeah.
All right. So, that I do know a little bit of the news with it, with the potential union stuff going on and all of that, right? This is where an industry, I think you're going to see some suffering of money's getting tighter, inflation is kicking in, and some of that, right? So that's what's part of what's dragging it down a little bit. I don't know how much they suffered because of Russia and shutdowns over there, but look at the gap that took place to the upside here today, right? We're looking at 87 to 94. That's $7. So we need to split this level in here, right? So basically all I'm doing in here is I'm going to put a line that's in the midpoints. And I already have the lines drawn here for this. I've got them saved on the tool that I have. So look what look where we're at right now, Spence. We go right to that fib line. Why did it happen? No one saw the line before. No one knew it was there. They had no idea, but we go and run and bump our head right on ugly. We stop right there. And for now, we stop there. So again, we're in the middle. We are still in what would be called a neutral bias. We're between the highest moving average and the one below that. So we're still neutral. If you're looking for a day trade tomorrow, close where it is today, small run up tomorrow, retest of the 92.5. 93.80 is our next resistance, and you have a confluence of the 55 moving average there. So it's 90.5 to 93.5.
All right, couple more here. Airbnb. I feel like you always get asked about Airbnb, Rob. Full disclosure, I'm long. Don't ask me from where. I have no idea. I think I'm probably. Let's see. I'm probably long from like the one. Maybe right around here, actually. I think I'm along from right around here. Maybe the 160s. I think like low 160s I'm along from.
Okay. So good for you. I mean, that's great. The move off of the 160.49, Spencer, was the best entry right there. As you came down and bounced right in here, and we took that, we got above all our moving averages on that one breakout day, retested and bounced. That was the entry right there. If you're sitting where we are, if this is our closing price today, about where we are now, then look for the retest tomorrow of the 172 3/4 with 180 1/4 is our next upside target, next resistance level.
180.
Yep, right up to 180. So does that mean now? Again, I'm looking at it from a trader standpoint, Spencer. You're an investor, right? So for me,
right.
When I'm buying and holding something, I'm going to have a little bit bigger wiggle room in there. But
Sure.
I also want to make sure I don't just give it all back.
Sure.
Right. So I'm going to have a point of a pain threshold, I call it, where it's uncle. Right? It's an uncle factor. All right. That's it. I'm out. I'm done. I'm not taking any more of this. I'm going to lock in my profits and call it a day. I won't be the guy that bought Tesla at 4 and held it to, 17,000 after it's all its splits. But I'll be the guy that traded it 400 times between that along the way.
A couple quick ones here. I guess, we do have to ask you about Apple. We do. Because it's never going to go down. It's never going to go down again. Didn't you hear?
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up with my biggest bag after Apple.
So let's see. 176 to 182 gives us 4 and 2 is 6-7. Yeah. So we don't need to split that level in half. So I like where it is right now. Moving averages are in a true bias, Spencer. All three of them in the right order. I like the angle. I like the separation of the 8 and 21, the pink and the green. I like how they're widening the separation from the crossover. The pullback to the 176 and a bounce is the entry.
And then SoFi, speaking of pain, you gotta know your time horizons, know why you bought something, and know what you can and can't afford to lose.
Exactly.
I'm underwater badly in SoFi. I don't sweat it, but I'm in this thing. I'm long from like 20 and change, so it's bad. But it's a very, very, very small position, and it was never a trade to begin with. People want to know where the bottom is here, Rob. You're not a fortune teller, but can you give any guidance on that front?
So to me, the bottom is when the moving averages have changed direction. It's not a dollar amount. You got to keep your eye on the moving averages. It is a moving target based on what it's doing until the moving averages get back and look like they did here. And I don't mean at this price level. But the pink is on top, the green is in the middle, the brown is on the bottom. Until that happens, it's not a buy to me. All three of those have to be in the right order, and it has to have moved down and bounced off of some sort of key level. A Fibonacci line, a moving average, that to me is the buy point. As far as did it trigger a bottom, I mean, for all I know, that could be the bottom right there, right? And we can go back and look historically and look at very long-term charts, and probably don't need that long. We hit all-time lows here. So to me, it's always a guess. And again, the fundamentals guy, the person that knows the news, they may have a better handle on that. I just look at it technically, and I'll even have my filters will tell me. I don't even have to look for this one. If the moving averages get where they belong and the stock gets where it belongs and it has enough volume on it every day, it'll trigger automatically in a filter. And guys, I teach you that. Actually, tomorrow, Spencer, we're doing a live training, free training. We've done it once before and only once. And we're only doing it tomorrow at 12 p.m. and at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then that Trading Like a Boss that you've got on the screen there, Spencer, is where you'll find it, guys. And I was blown away. It's called 30 Days to Trading Success. And I don't care if you are a brand new trader that doesn't know a stock from a rock. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Day 10, you're placing your first trade with knowing nothing about the market. Guys, I've taught this stuff for years in 2 and 3 day live seminars. And I'm talking years later, people haven't placed their first trade for some. In 10 days, you place your first stock trade. In day 20, you place your first options trade. I'm going to bear all of that with you tomorrow, share all of that with you tomorrow on exactly how to capitalize and take advantage of the program we just went through. There are people that have been trying to trade for a decade that haven't been successful at it and are starting to see some major shifts in what their trading looks like. Some of our shows, people are saying every day, 2%, 6%, 5% a day, people are picking up.
All right. The link is on the screen there, tradinglikeboss.com. Robert Roy, always a pleasure, man. Have a great rest of your week.
You too, Spencer. Appreciate it. Take care, guys.
All right. Be good. I wanted to pull up this graphic. We were talking earlier to Ben about stocks trading at fair value, right? Ben made a comment that stocks never trade at fair value, right? They're either underpriced or lower price, or undervalued or lower valued. Stocks are very often disconnected from fundamentals. I want to bring up this fun chart that I saw. I saw this actually, I think, on Friday, but it keeps on coming back to me. So I thought, oh, what the hell? Share it on the show. In terms of Visual Capitalist, if you don't know Visual Capitalist, they do a fantastic job taking corporate data and turning it into really cool charts. This is a chart of the food delivery market here in the United States, going back to 2018. And what this chart is saying is that DoorDash has rapidly expanded or increased its market share of the U.S. food delivery market. Whereas in 2018, DoorDash had, you can eyeball it here, we'll call that 20% of the U.S. market. Now they've got more like half of the U.S. market, the U.S. food delivery market. So, all right, they have done a great job. They have literally eaten their competition.
I see what you did there. Can you send this to me?
I can.
I want to send it to my friend that works at Grubhub.
I can send this to you.
Say what's
So it
going
works
on.
at Grubhub?
Yeah.
I can send this to
What's
you.
going on, bro?
So you can see clearly that they've taken market share from their competitors, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub. I don't know who other is. Maybe it's
Seamless.
oh yeah, it's not only in New York. Anyway, here's my point though. I want to bring up the stock chart now. All right. Now that chart I just showed you went back to 2018. We don't have that much price data on DoorDash because it's a pretty recent IPO. It only IPO'd last year. I'm sorry, it IPO'd late 2020. But here's DoorDash in its entire history as a public company. Okay. The IPO price was 102 and it opened for trade at 182. So we are above the IPO price. But if you bought the stock on day one, you have been underwater more often than not in this company's history as a public company. And we are still $60 away from that opening tick in DoorDash. Even though we just showed you that in terms of they've actually had a really good couple of years. That's what you want to see. You want to see a company taking market share from their competitors. That's how you win. That would, in theory, make a good investment. But the lesson here is that valuations they always matter, but they especially matter at the time of the IPO, right? Understand the expectations that are baked into the IPO price or the IPO valuation. In DoorDash's case, I mean, it's hard to argue with the results of their business. They would probably tell you, yeah, we're crushing it right now. We are crushing it. Although I do get a lot of DoorDash offer free discount codes in the mail. But they would probably tell you they're doing a pretty good job. Wall Street says otherwise. And that's where this disconnect happens, where stocks don't always trade off of. Jay, you're right. It is called growing into your multiple. Sometimes multiples just need to be justified. I thought that was a really interesting dichotomy, though. They've taken market share from their competitors, and if you only looked at the stock, though, if you ignored everything else and just looked at the stock, you'd say, "Oh, DoorDash, what a piece of crap! This company sucks." The stock sucks. But, of course, there's more to it than that. It's not quite that simple.
How do, and I see the source here is McKinsey & Co. So
yeah,
we were talking about consultants yesterday.
I'm going to just make an assumption that McKinsey got that data from public filings, but I guess I wouldn't know.
Like I'm just curious, like how do you measure market share in that sense, in like food delivery, just in terms of like total order, like total dollar amount spent?
I would presume you add up all the
like which restaurants are on DoorDash versus Grubhub. Like I feel like there are a lot of different metrics.
Couldn't you just take like revenue from each? I don't know.
Yeah, that's about how I would do it. Or just like total dollars
divide it up,
on.
just slice it up like that. I don't know, maybe. We're gonna have our next guest on in a couple minutes here. I'm very excited for that. Before we do that, though, do we ever talk about the short squeeze? By the way, we should mention Rob. Well, we already mentioned Robinhood today because the extended hours. Have you seen the stock though?
Hood stock? I have not seen it today.
Man.
We did touch on short squeezes with Ben. We talked about Kodak, potential there.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. We did. You're right.
Just this whole week, that's been the biggest. I say this whole week. It's only Tuesday, but
the whole week.
So far, the biggest headline storyline in the markets this week has been the reemergence of the, whether you want to call it short squeezes, meme stocks, you name it. Essentially, just stocks that have a above average short interest, and a lot of times kind of smaller float, saying, hey, look, if a lot of people go out and buy this stock, that will require, first of all, that will essentially prohibit the stock price from going down, which will then require the people that are short that stock to cover, which will then cause the stock to move even higher, which then causes more people to buy, which causes the stock to move even higher. You get the point,
Like
right?
you're talking in circles. Yeah.
We've been through this before.
We have. This is true.
So this week, once GameStop started running, AMC started running, now everyone, and we can see this data on Benzinga Pro, is searching for the stocks that have higher than normal short interest.
Today, the top searches are AMC and SPY.
Well, I don't know what the short interest on SPY is.
I'm not sure what that tells us.
I'd bet that the short interest on SPY is a lot lower than it was 2 weeks ago, and everyone and their mom was bearish.
It probably is not a short interest on SPY.
Well, not interest,
no,
but just
it's
like
it's an ETF. There
okay.
can't be.
I meant the put to call ratio. I'm sure the put to call ratio is higher on the bullish side this week than it was 2 weeks ago when it seemed like everyone was bearish.
Maybe.
But look, I mean, there are ways to go out and like allocate some of your capital toward if you want to make a speculative bet on if a real short squeeze is going to happen on one of these stocks. Sure, that's fine. But just remember, a lot of these stocks have high short interest, have a lot of people shorting them for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's because
they're Kodak. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, Ben. No, it's because a lot of these companies, whether you're looking at GameStop, AMC, have issues, whatever it is that people come in and recognize and they want to short it. So I'm not personally like out there trying to find any of these short squeeze plays. I'm not rooting against anyone that is either. Like if Bed Bath & Beyond's up 50% tomorrow on a short squeeze, doesn't affect me. Doesn't probably benefits me. Gives us something more to talk about.
We want everyone to make money, right?
Exactly. I'm rooting for everyone to make money.
We're not rooting against anyone. Well, that's not true. Like I said, I'm rooting against the pumpers, but that's not. That's why I was pissed off last week when I moved that stock and I didn't mean to do it, and like whatever. I don't want to get into that now. All right, you know what? Let's bring on our next guest here. We actually have two guests joining us right now. I'm very excited for this. Matt Davio. I'm 99% sure I got that right. Davio and Robert Heffernan, both former floor guys. Now they run Market Vitals. Let's get them on the show right now and talk markets. Hey, fellas, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Welcome you. And by the way, let me clarify right away. Matt was not a floor guy.
I was not. Always been a screen trader.
Oh, my apologies.
Phone screen. Always.
Matt, did I get your name right? Davio?
That's
okay.
Yeah, you did it. Good. You see, he's not going to say it. If you were in Italy, it would be Davio. And I just found this out last week when we were sitting at a pub. And I said to him, why wouldn't you correct me? I've been calling you the wrong name for 3 years now.
Wait, well, I heard him say it. That's why I said it.
I say it too.
Okay. All right.
He now mispronounces his own name begrudgingly.
Okay. Yes. Not begrudgingly. It's just the way it is.
All right. Guys, let's just start like a high level here. What are your overall thoughts on this market right now?
It is crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine.
Matt, it's like the fifth day of a bender that your body is not supposed to do.
It's basically like hanging out with Hunter Biden, smoking a lot of meth, and it just keeps going up and up, and you're getting higher and higher every day.
I mean, seriously, when have you seen a chart that hasn't made a lower low in a broad index? I mean, I'm not sure this has ever happened. Maybe you can confirm or deny that the market has been this on fire, as Matt likes to say, en fuego.
Fuego. 10 days. I mean, 10 days, we are up over 17% in the NASDAQ. That's just 10 days. Yeah. So
that's a good year.
Well, right. So that's what I'm trying to score that circle too, because I was a little flat-footed here and thought, all right, this seems, 1 day became 2, became 3. Now it's 2 weeks later, and here we are.
Let me ask you this question too, because I'm the same way, and I'm most disappointed that I didn't take some midterm buy signals and stay with them and just see how far it ran. Obviously, if anybody had done that and just added to any kind of midterm signaling because it hasn't reversed. It's crazy. It's like Rod Carew going on a 2-month kidding streak. It's like, wait,
betting 700 over those 2 weeks. Yeah. No, it's listen, we were way oversold. There was a really, a triple bottom there at, on the NASDAQ specifically and on the S&P. So we were, you're looking back. So it gave everybody, and then you start off, COVID. The COVID war got killed by the Ukrainian war. The Ukrainian war just got killed by Will Smith. So we'll have to see what's next.
Well, it's an endless circle. We go back to interest rates and inflation. It's just a circle.
Right. And at some point, inflation and interest rates in these bonds, which are just grinding lower also. Right. So doesn't make it, like, if you understand the correlation between those two, they should be moving in the same direction. So they're not right now. They're exactly the opposite.
So what is your approach here? Are you looking to buy dips if we ever get a dip again?
Yeah, you got to plug your nose and buy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Okay. Hey, that can work.
He's being facetious, Matt. Spencer and Aaron, Matt's nickname is the Don't. All right. Mm-hmm. He never saw something that he didn't want to sell immediately, which would have made him a great floor trader, by the way.
Yeah, my vanity plate would have been sell first. Absolutely. Sell first.
We both have been talking about this because we got month end, quarter end here. And man, what a difference the charts are showing right now compared to last week, where we end the month and the quarter. And that's what I'm paying attention to, because they have kick saved again on these longer term charts from a standard deviation modeling. And so, you know what? If they close them up here, if they close here, I'll just say this: if the spoos close, I don't know, 46.50 or so, end of the month, end of the quarter, I don't see why we won't go retest the highs, because they've trapped so many people short. And I think that's what the Ukraine war did, was like people piling in saying, oh, how can this ever resolve itself in a reasonable fashion? Like, this thing has to go lower. And once again, just like COVID, the Fed continues to increase its balance sheet. So you're fighting the Fed. We're still fighting the Fed.
Yeah, I mean, the Fed saying that they've stopped tapering is a flat out ruse. I mean, last week, I saw that they purchased another 20 bill in MBS. So
I do think that's about to stop. I know they said that, but I think it's actually about to stop, like this week or next week.
So. Hey, do you have any good metric on that? Does somebody have, like, the key punch lady that said, hey, guess what? The Fed added nothing to its balance sheet today. Can we get that phone number or that intel?
Let me get back to you on that.
Right. Listen, Tesla, we know why it was running now, because they announced the split yesterday. So now we know. Okay. I would say to you that it's probably seeing its highest price on this move if we don't see a higher price.
That's it.
That's great.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Do you guys have do you have a favorite universe of things to trade, whether they're stocks or futures or SPY, Qs, whatever?
Yeah, we trade it all. Opportunity, equities, futures. Futures are the best tax advantaged product out there for the trader. So leverage can be your friend, can be your enemy. So that's the downside of futures. If you don't understand that leverage, you can get, but if you do understand it and you play small and within your size, it can be very fruitful. But I would not recommend it to somebody who's just starting in the trading business.
You trade I heard you say SPOOs. You're trading the S&Ps.
Yep.
I assume you're trading oil, gold, all that jazz.
You got it. Wheat, the grains. Bob likes the meats. I'm not so much a meat guy.
Well, I used to like the meats. Talk about a delicate dance. The egg products have been incredibly difficult to trade. I mean, look at this. Look at the hogs today. Back month hogs or summer month hogs are down $3. That's 1,200.
This is great. This is great. We've never actually had a hog futures trader on this show before. What is that market like?
Well, I spent 25 years on the floor, and I was one of those guys that just kept finding another pit that had some volume and action. Yeah. They swept me out of the CME. And the last place I spent a considerable chunk of time was in the lean hog pit at the mark. And I got to tell you, man, I spent a lot, like I said, 25 years. I've seen a lot of successful traders. The only people that I know that have private jets are guys that were in the hog pit. There's an incredible amount of risk tolerance and therefore reward trading agricultural products. And again, there's so much. You talk about a place with a big ego, that Chicago Mercantile Exchange, but these guys were unassuming and they have 1,000-lot spreads on, right, in the hogs. And you walk into the hog pit, what's in June hogs? And it'd be like 117, 10 bit of 20. What kind of size? 10 by 7. Seemingly so illiquid. And you're like, how do these guys have thousands of these spreads on? Well, it was because there's also the Goldman commodity index, which portion of that commodity index was in hogs. It's in cattle. It's in all the grains. Commodities are what that index entails. And so there's giant positions held by institutional clients. And there's traders that got in front of that role. And I was able to partake in that as a last hurrah before everything went electronic, including the hog and the hog roll. But again, it's incredibly risky right now. Look at this thing is all over the map in a giant way, these hog futures.
And that's why I've never looked at it, because it doesn't seem particularly liquid now. And but do you have any fun flow stories from back in the day? So that's like mostly safer work that that you can tell.
I've
Do you know who you're talking to? You shouldn't have asked
mostly. I said mostly, please.
I talked about an F. Lee Bailey story that I had. There was an altercation in the hog pit, and there was an argument in the close. And of course, this is about big money, right? It's not just a couple of dollars. If there's an argument where people are ready to kill each other, it's over money and a substantial. And the one guy spit directly in the other guy's face. Spit at him. And he was calling him a snake that he stole the trade from him, and he spit right in his face. And so he got written up, right? And so I'm sitting there, and the guy's name was Merm. And I'm like, Merm, I think I can get you out of this. He's like, how are you going to get me out of this? I spit right in his face. I go, yes, but he said you were a snake. Right. So if you can, with a straight face, go into that committee meeting. And by the way, he's facing like a $10,000 or $15,000 fine for business-like protocol in the pit. I go, if you get in a straight face, say, he called me a snake, and I was saying, oh, I'm a snake, and I was hissing like I'm a snake. You call me. And I accidentally may have spit in his face, but I didn't spit in his face. I was just making the sound of the snake that he called me.
That's good.
And he's like, wow, I think that'll work. I go, listen, if you get off, you owe me and my brother dinner at Gibson's. And so he did. He went with a straight face and said I was hissing like a snake, and got off. And one of the great F. Lee Bailey moments in Chicago Mercantile Exchange history.
That's good. That's a good one.
So I heard you guys chatting a little bit about the meme stocks with GameStop.
Yeah, and, what do you make of that action this week?
I don't know. I'm just a chart guy, and like I was saying to Bob earlier, I'm astounded that these things continue to move, but every time it's just a little bit lower in price on the lows and a little bit lower on the highs too. So I don't really want to be involved in them. They're danger Will Robinson all day for me. But just because unless you're trading the options and you're out of the money options, way out of the money, But again, that's not for regular guys. That's not. I like to sell options too. So whether I'm getting long, I'm selling puts out of the market. I like to spread myself. So that's what I do. This right now, I'm not a trend line guy, but there is a simple trend line. I like to look at what other traders are seeing, and we just hit it at $200 on GameStop. So that's kind of interesting. I prefer market profile for all my, market intel. I'm a price action volume profile guy. That's
Okay.
how I look at markets. I tend to be 2 to 4 weeks in my sweet spot of where I like to trade. So if I get into something long, I expect it to move to 2 to 4 weeks. I'm not holding it for the next 6 months if I'm trading. Now, if I'm I have, you should have a trading portfolio and you should have a buy and hold portfolio. They're totally two different vehicles, but I believe there is a place for trading for most people and most portfolios, especially if you've been successful and you work for the inside of GameStop and you've been making your 60 grand a year and your 3 million a year in options. Well, you're probably post-economic now, thanks to the Reddit bros. So good for them.
Any recent trades you can walk us through, Matt?
Recent trades?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one right now. I think Tesla, again, I think you could have sold Tesla pre-market, whatever it was, 1,110, 15, however high it went, from anywhere from there. I think that will mark the top. And again, I used options to put that trade on. So if you go back, I don't know what you're using for charts. It kind of looks like TradingView, but
yeah, the TradingView charts are on, it's on Benzinga Pro, but the TradingView charts.
Okay. But like on my TradingView charts, you can look at the last time the split happened. It'll show you on that chart. Oh
gosh. Oh man.
Go and look. Go and look.
What is that? Oh man. I don't know how to do that on trading. I don't use that on my charts.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
But it'll show you when they announced it. You should look at that as a trader.
I should. You're right. I'm also not really a chartist, so I know basic, and I know every so often I'll bring up like a couple moving averages or Fibonacci or this or that, but damn,
so it spiked pre-market. It was trading, I'm going off memory here, 110 to 115 or so. Okay. And the last time this traded here, the last time, if you go, I'll give you the date, August 31st. August 31st, 2020.
Right.
Okay. August 31st.
You can see because that was December. Never mind. There we go.
2020. So August 31st was the day they announced.
Right there, right at the top.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see that same. That's kind of especially once we just had a 50. Well, now that we ran up to 1115 today, it's probably closer to 65% move. That's 700 to 1115. You do the math for me real quick. That's what is that? 325 points. So yeah, it's like 60%. It's a 60% move in the last 7 days. So yeah, we're back to a 1.13 trillion market cap. I mean, really? I mean, if you just do this, I heard you guys talking metrics. I mean, if you do price to sales, right? Price to sales. Sure. You're looking at a 15x for a car company. I mean,
price to sales, about 23 right now.
23. There you go.
Yeah, that's expensive.
It's expensive.
That's very expensive.
Yeah.
So,
and again, I'm not a fundamental guy, but I want to know what fundamental traders are thinking.
So how'd you go into this trade? You said options. So
I sold like 1150, 1150, 1200 a bear spread. I'll sell the 1150s and buy buy against it on the backside. So back spreading. Okay. So that's one way you can do it. I don't like
how far out?
Oh, just the next couple of weeks. If I'm wrong, I'll be wrong fast.
Well, you say that, but we live in a world where buying next day options, right?
But that's what I said. So, for me, it's a 2 week, 2 to 3 week trade. It'll probably play out. I think it'll play out in the next week if I'm correct. Right. I'll be right or wrong in the next week. So nice. I think I don't see us going to all-time highs. And I said that to Bob back at the end of 2022 that I thought we saw all-time highs probably for a long time on Tesla. And maybe, right now it's looking like it could test it again. So who knows?
Yeah.
Especially in the meme world. I mean, we were talking about this before we came in. I mean, you think about the what word did I use, Matt? The seamlessness that people can participate globally. And you can open up you had Robinhood on when I first joined you. I mean, the amount of people and money that can seamlessly enter the market, It's nothing that we've seen before, and anybody that tells you different is crazy.
No, and it is. I mean, Bob and I have both been around this game for a long time. I mean, I've been trading for 35 years, and Bob talked about this also. Like, it used to be, it took you a while to open up an account, fund it, get everything going. It would take you a couple weeks just for that process to occur. Now, literally anybody can sit on their Apple 13 and sign up and move money from their Bitcoin Coinbase account. And they're rolling in stocks at Robinhood, right? I mean, it's great. It's crazy how fast it happens. So to that point, you have a lot more, 1-2 share buyers. When I first started in this, 100 was the smallest you could go. I mean, you had the 16th market. You had 0 to 16th. So you didn't have these penny increments. And I think also because of that, because of everybody sitting on their mouse and sitting on their keyboards, they move so fast and on the same type of signals, it just takes the whole thing and brings it to a level that you can't compare it to, because the floor mechanism was a good thing because it prevented those types of moves from happening, because you had to physically match orders. And now these orders are matched in milliseconds, and you have obviously the high frequency stuff has kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
But it's still going on. There's still people that think they can do it and program it and beat the system, right? And I'm sure they are doing it successfully. So when that stuff starts happening, and those guys are using money that's not their money either, they have access to capital, access to, I think a lot of it, gets put down into the retail, but I actually think it's the big players using the retail as kind of a cover for what they're actually doing, which is moving big money and squeezing the turd out of the guys on the street that they're competing against. And they know who they are, and they know what their pain points are. And they have more advanced, snooping tools than you and I have access to. And, a lot of that is also, I mean, as you know, there's all kinds of tools that measure how many times GameStop gets mentioned on Twitter, how many times it gets mentioned on Reddit, how many times, et cetera, et cetera. So they're scraping all this data and they're trading off of it, probably as much as I do charts anymore. Because some of the charts you see these days, like they shouldn't ever look like that, but they do. And I think
you find. I'm wondering if the events of the last year plus has it changed the way you approach trading or the markets at all, knowing what is now possible?
Oh yeah, but honestly.
Clarify what you mean.
Well,
I guess I'm going back to January of last year, right? So when the meme thing really took off.
Oh, right.
Right. Yeah. Did that change how you thought about what?
I always I go into selling a stock. If I'm going to short it, I go into it expecting it's going to go 5x. Like, if you don't think that way, well, I'm just saying, like, you almost have to. That's the only way you can set into, because short selling is already hard, right? You need an uptick, especially with stocks. It's going against you immediately. And that's the other reason why we like futures, because when it starts selling, you can jump on. You don't need an uptick. So you can get involved a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently than you can in the stock world. In the stock world, I mean, you really need to almost, if you're going to trade actively and large size, you're going to have hotkeys and all kinds of buttons on your, if you're going to trade actively like that. And I was never a day trader to begin with. So my type of trading has always been, weeks to months. That's always been my time frame. So I'm not that concerned about the intra day of one day, unless we have very high volatility. Then day trading becomes an interesting proposition. But when we're in a market like we reverted back to in the last 2 weeks, which has low volatility, VIX back to the teens, I don't do a lot of day trading. I position trade and I put on positions expecting, again, okay, maybe I think right now the NASDAQ could see 15.3 to 15.6. Maybe that's kind of the high I see in my head. So I'll put a position based on that type of thought process. And then when I'm wrong, I have to reposition, get out, exit, but again, you can kind of, with options and futures, you can do a lot of different things and kind of wait for that move to come, be involved and be able to take off kind of the hedge when you need to, right? And let's say I want to be short, but I might be net long via the options right now.
Do either of you guys have a favorite name to pick on, or a favorite a name you're exceptionally bullish or bearish right now?
Well, our favorite name for sure over the past year has been Penn Gaming.
To be bullish or bearish?
Yeah, tell us more.
Well, when we watched it go to 140,
that was fun.
And we thought Davey Portnoy, love him or hate him, had generational wealth accumulated. We were pounding the drums saying, you got to take, I mean, and how true is this in trading and anything? If you don't take profits, even if you leave something on the table, I mean, the biggest mistake you can make is not pull that profits, because believe me, I know this, and anybody that's ever traded a lot will tell you it hurts a lot more to give giant profits away and end up losing money than it does to miss out on profit potential. And especially as that thing rolled and started to give way, and he just kept on defending that the stock was going to go to the moon. And it's like, man,
did he ever sell any?
He says that he didn't. And so
we can look that up very easily, Aaron.
I just didn't know off the top of my head, so I'm asking our wonderful
as
guests.
I know, no, but I haven't tried.
I know. I'm saying I think that's stupid that he didn't sell any. I mean, like you said, you don't book profit. You don't make any money till you book some profits. And
let's just say he took off half. I mean, he took half off at 140. Geez, I mean that's a ton of money. It's a ton of money.
Well, and this is the same guy that so they did the deal with Penn and Barstool like early 2020 before COVID, and then the stock crashed, and he's like bitching every day on Twitter like, oh my God, I'm losing all this money.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he ends up
the timing of that really couldn't have.
Here's another thing too, is we actually said, for God's sakes, at least buy puts in DraftKings, or at least short.
Yeah. Hedge somehow.
Yeah.
At least Ben.
I remember there were people, it was like right when he started doing his stock trading thing, there were people trying to explain to him that like while he was bitching about Penn's stock going down and how much money he personally was losing, people were like, oh, you can do this thing called dollar cost average. You can buy some shares down here at $12, even though you had it at 36 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And I mean, obviously in retrospect, he would have been fine off doing that. But how can you, I mean, he was so stressed when it was going down. Then when it goes up 5x, he doesn't sell any. I mean, come on.
Like that too. Because it turned around.
And that's the typical behavior. That blow off move like that just keeps going until it just shoots its wad. And like Bob said, then once you kind of come back and it goes to 140, when it breaks that 120 collar, it's done. It's like never going to go back there again. Like he'll never see that price. He can hold on until he's dead. But because of the business, I mean, let's face it, marijuana, gambling, now that it's legal everywhere and it's going to be legal, in all states, the commoditization of these spaces, you can make, my kids are betting on platforms I've never even heard of. I've never heard of them. It's not MGM. Yeah. It's not Caesars. Sometimes when they're traveling in Arizona, I guess it's Barstool. But the point is, you can even here in Oregon, I can't use Barstool, but I think DraftKings has a deal with the state of Oregon now. So all I'm saying is it's commoditized, and there's not going to be there's no margin in that business. It's a loss leader for Vegas. It has been forever, right? Although there's more degenerate gamblers today than there ever has been, because of the youth has been taught that it's okay to gamble, right? Whereas before you didn't tell people you had a bookie.
In public.
Well, right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you really didn't. You didn't tell people you were going to pick up a bag of cash from.
One of the great things about the trading floor is you could find enough action right there in the whatever pit that you were involved in.
Now everybody's like, oh, you're watching the Michigan Louisville women's game last night. Who do you got? I'm like, how would I know? I don't know anything about it.
I agree. 100% I agree with that. Were you going to say something or no? Yeah. Because we have to wrap them in anyway, because we got to hop off at 2.
Yeah, let's we'll save it for next time.
All right.
Robert, Matt.
This was a lot of fun. Guys, I'm going to put their Twitter handles up on the screen. There they are. HFR from the floor, and at Mistrade on Twitter for Rob and Matt. And guys, this has been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. MarketVitals.io is the link, guys. Check it out. and we'd love to have you back on again soon. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Thank you very much, guys.
Alrighty. All right, we gotta hop early. We gotta hop on time today. We gotta end the show on time because we have the big interview on the roadmap. Cool Cats. By the way, I mentioned it before. We are giving away $1,000 worth of Ethereum. The link is pinned to the top of our chat on YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, then I'll put it in the chat for you. If you're watching us on a different platform, here's the link. Go enter. Wait, that's not right. Hold on. Go enter and maybe win some Ethereum. Wait, I just got a message. I'm being told,
Discord.
Spencer, let everyone know to join our Discord server, please. Done. You guys want to join our Discord? We are on Discord. There's the link into the chat. Discord.gg. I'm not going to read you that link. We're on Discord is the point there. I think that's a wrap. We have to...
Apple, still moving.
We have to promote our own event, the FinTwit Conference, May 13th and 14th, the Aria Resort and Casino in Vegas. Link and discount code are in the description of this YouTube video. The same can be said for the Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference, which is 3 weeks from today in Miami Beach. Check that out as well. That's Aaron at AaronBree5 on Twitter. I'm at SJ Israel on Twitter. And
I was gonna do yours next, by the way.
That's okay.
I don't want you to think.
Oh,
also, I did this yesterday. I searched to see if my initials had a stock. Do you know if yours do? SJI.
They do. I think South Jersey Industries.
Okay, are you in it?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering. I might get in mine just because it.
Yeah, South Jersey Industries, which is great because I'm from Jersey, so that works out.
Mine's the Alliance Bernstein National Municipal Income Fund.
What's your middle initial?
F. AFB. Oh. But okay, I've been looking at it. It's down. I might buy some. Just say,
Please
hey.
don't do that.
All right, fine.
All right. Guys, we're done. The stream is going to end. Redirect you over to the roadmap, our NFT show. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They have Cool Cats on the show today. It's a big show. So do us a solid. Drop us a like. We'd appreciate that. If you want to subscribe, we'd appreciate that too. You want to become a member, appreciate that as well. You want to join Benzinga Pro? That'd be cool too. Pro.benzinga.com. Free 2-week trial for everyone. Let's put that link up on the screen. There's a link to a discount. All right, we're done. Everyone, have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on at the close in an hour and a half and send you on over to the roadmap.
Love you guys. Be back tomorrow. Oh.